out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuning in to Apartment 5B podcast, hosted by your man, Kill. I got my squad in effect with me, as always. I got my brother from Boston, Easy Money. What's going on, baby?
Haverhill, Massachusetts. I'm just north of Boston, but it's all love, baby. What's good, y'all?
I apologize. No disrespect.
Not at all.
Out of Queens, and you see the shirt right there. You already know what it is.
Yeah.
The illest t-shirts in the game, easily. What's going on, Cal?
Glad to be back with y'all today. I gotta up my game though. I mean, I had to go to Queens today. I don't have any new hip hop shirts. Even though you sent me a couple, Kills, so I gotta purchase some of those. So,
no doubt. Vegas in the building from BK. What's going on, bro?
Fell asleep on the couch, man. He's like that.
Yo, last week I was in Vegas. I'm like, yo, where's BK? He wanted to get on the show. I'm like, yo, you know what? By 9:30, I was like, bet money. Now you know what it was, because we started late last week. So I said, bet money. He fell asleep. I was like, bet money. And then
I was up at 9. But
right. See, that's 9:30 pushed us back. That pushed us back. And my brother out of Philly, Spence, what's good, baby?
Oh, it's good. Thanks for having me again, man. Appreciate you.
Man, you already know, always open seat for y'all on here. Let's jump right into this. I cannot wait for this show. Tonight, we're going to be talking about hip-hop features. You know what I mean? A lot of people may not really understand how important a hip-hop feature was back in the day. This is how a lot of boys got put on. You know, some of your favorite MCs you heard featured on somebody else's joint. Now, what we're going to be looking at tonight are features that you heard and you thought, yo, this boy about to be something crazy, and he did not end up being something crazy. He or she did not end up being what you thought they were going to be. Not saying they had a bad career, not saying they was trash, nothing like that. But they did not live up to expectations, and the people who did live up to the expectations. And I want to explain where this is coming from. I don't know how this got started, but I call them day parties. This is what happens on my timeline. Niggas start a topic. I say some shit. It starts a topic. It becomes a day party. And what I mean by that is this shit could go on for days. And usually if it's disrespectful, I nip that shit in the bud. Like, nah. But this was actually a good discussion. Like, so I didn't mind it. So it went on for days. And it started with AZ. And I can't remember where it started from. I don't know if someone called him a legend. I don't know where it became. But I basically was saying, in a nutshell, I said, after I'm hearing him on Life's a Bitch, which could literally be the most dopest featured hip-hop verse ever. I've never thought about this. But if someone said to me, yo, Kill, Life's a Bitch, AZ got the GOAT feature verse ever, I'm not mad at that. Off rip, I'm not mad. I may not agree, but I'm not mad at that take. And it may be the dopest first introduction of an artist on somebody else's stuff. I'm not mad at that. So from here, Life's a Bitch, I just thought AZ was going to be like one of the next ones. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking he's next to Nas. He's going bar for bar with Nas. And keep it in mind, this is 94. So this isn't like the Nas we know now. Not like Nas didn't, become who he is, but I'm thinking, damn, if you're going bar to bar with Nas, it's about to be crazy. You know what I mean? And I was just saying that I don't feel like his career is what I thought it was going to be. And then it turned into, yo, he ain't even got a classic album or a classic song. Mad niggas was like, nah, Sugar Hill's a classic song. So it got into all this other stuff. But that is where we got to this topic. So I will set it off with AZ. And I'm really interested to see how boys feel about this. So please tap in if you don't agree with me. Y'all know me. I'm usually the person that I man out on my own show. Everybody doesn't agree with me. So my thing with AZ is, for me, it was he did not live up to what I thought he was going to be, because like I said, I thought he was going to be one of the ones. I saw him in Jay-Z's Dead President video, and I was like, yo, even in there, I was like, okay, this nigga chilling with Big and Jay playing Monopoly with real money. Like, I don't know about all that. You know what I mean? But Sugar Hill came out, and I like Sugar Hill. I love Sugar Hill. I just don't think it's a hip hop classic song. So I think when I think hip hop classic, I think Check the Rhyme. I think The Choice Is Yours. I think Deep Cover. I think Broken Language by Smooth the Hustler. Sugar Hill to me is a great song. For me, it's just not a hip hop classic. So for me, AZ, and when we look at AZ's career, we're looking at, hold on, let me bring this up. We're looking at AZ has had out 9 albums. Do or Die, Pieces of a Man, 9 Lives, AWOL, The Format, Undeniable, Legendary, Do or Die 2, then Truth Be Told. And he just posted that Do or Die 3 is coming out this year. So he's going to have 10 albums in a 30-year time span. Now, that's dope to me. Like, yo, if you can make 10 albums in 30 years, it's a very respectable, you know what I mean, career. Here's the problem. It's like almost you stayed in the NBA. Like, you're in the league, but you're not making all-star teams. You're not, you're not really putting up the numbers. You are in the league. It's respectable. It's like, yo, the boy stayed in the league X amount of years. But for me, I just expected so much more from AZ. I expected him to have multiple classic albums. You know what I mean? Do or Die to me is like a 4-mic album. It's a lot of songs I don't like. The songs I like, I love. Like, you talk about Give Me and Rather Unique and, Ho Happy Jackie and More Money, More Murder. I love those songs. But that's about it. You know what I mean? To the point, like I even said this, I can't name you 10 AZ songs. If you had $100,000 on the table right now to pay for Naomi's undergrad, nigga, I'm lost. Because I could give you 7, and probably 5 of them is coming from Do or Die. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Easy. What do you think about AZ? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Am I bugging? What do you think?
I do understand where you're coming from, but I do disagree. I feel like AZ is an absolute legend. I don't feel like it's. I don't know. I don't feel. And then with the Sugar Hill thing, I do believe Sugar Hill is a classic because. I mean, if me, I've been on a prior show,
right?
So this is not a knock. When you say Smooth the Hustler, Broken Language, I mentioned that record when the Aliens came down. Remember that, right?
Right.
Well, I love that joint, but I feel like if that qualifies, Sugar Hill got to qualify. That's me, And he got other joints. In my opinion, like I just feel like it's what your standards are, what is the word I'm looking for?
Your criteria.
There you go, criteria. That's the word. Smart ass nigga. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Criteria. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe AZ is a legend, but I also agree that he underachieved.
Okay.
So, like I said, I believe you're completely wrong, but
Good. And this is going to be a great conversation because what I think we have to do then is figure out what's the criteria for a legend. Because, well, here's another question. Do you think AZ has a classic album?
Me? No.
Yeah, no. So the hard part is he has one classic song and no classic album.
I didn't say he had one.
Legend.
I don't think he has
so
one.
you believe multiple classic songs.
Yeah, man, that Do or Die got some shit. More Money, More Murder, Rather Unique. He got some joints on there, Kill.
But do you think it's up there with Check the Rhyme? When niggas play Check the Rhyme, like when people play Troy.
Okay.
And I know we all have different definitions.
Unfair. This is why I believe that that's unfair, what you're saying, right?
Okay.
Okay, let me give you your example. Stove Guard Cook's Reasonable Drought is a 5-mic classic, right?
It's a classic album. I don't think he has.
Yes, no, that's cool. I agree. Right. But is it Reasonable Doubt?
No.
They could be both 5 mics. One could be better than the other. So I think it's unfair to be like, you're gonna put him with fucking Troy, bro. Troy's the fucking top tier. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
all right, but I mean, like for me, Broken Language. Well, you know what? We'll get this. I want to get everybody.
Al Gasol's an all-star. Is he fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's the thing. AZ is like that time when Drew Holiday hooped for the Sixers and he made the All-Star team, and I'm like, nigga, you made the squad because all the other point guards in the East was hurt. Like, so I hate to put the asterisks on it, my nigga. Listen, if everybody was healthy, you don't.
Hold on. Let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
30 years later, AZ still not getting busy though, rhyming.
Here's the thing, and again, no. To answer your question, yes. Here's my problem with him being a legend. It's the same flow. It's the same thing. So for me, it's like what made Life's a Bitch so incredible was like, yo, who is this boredom? Like somebody was saying, like, Kill, you fucking up AZ, like, give the boys flowers. And I'm like, just because I'm not saying he has classic albums and he's not a legend doesn't mean I'm not giving him his flowers. He literally may own the dopest hip-hop feature ever. That's giving flowers. He has one of the illest original flows ever. He has one of the smoothest voices ever. This nigga is a smooth ass nigga from top to bottom. That's giving flowers. Like, I don't have to say you're the best ever or you're a GOAT or you're this to give somebody their flowers. The problem with A for me is that he sounds the same way he did in 93 and 2025. There's no changing of the flow. So what happens is it's almost like you're like a one-trick pony. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying if I hoop with Kelv every day and this nigga only got one move and I know he crossing me up to the right, after a while it becomes predictable. You know what I mean? So what made it so special 30 years ago, now it don't seem that special 30 years later. But we're going to keep the conversation going. But Kelv, what you think? Yeah, my bad.
Real quick.
All right.
Jadakiss rhyme the same every song.
Right.
Tupac rhyme the same every song. What
Right.
we doing?
But here's the thing.
Hey, Mr. Cheeks rhyme the same every song.
I'm gonna be one of those. I'm gonna be one of those weirdos who is gonna say Jada's not a legend to me.
I'm this close to shutting my fucking laptop.
I understand, bro. I said I'm gonna be one. Here's the thing. My criteria.
Black Thought.
Well, you know what? Hold on.
I change your mind.
You know what? Let me be very specific and very clear. Maybe legend isn't the right word. I'm thinking more so like we did a show on Apartment 5B based off of legends. And it started because some nigga from the Living Legends came on my timeline and was like, nigga, we legends. I'm like, nigga, I don't even know who the fuck you are. Who are the Living Legends? Like, what the fuck? And mad niggas like, oh no, they opened up for Slum. They opened up for Tribe. They opened up for Hyro. Nigga, you are an opening fucking act. If you are an opening act, to me, you can't be a legend. If you're constantly, I swear to God, on my soul, everybody who said, oh, Kill, they're living legends, they opened up for. And Bull was like, yeah, we done did stadiums opening up for Cypress. That's not your crowd, my nigga. That you're not, you're saying it like, yo, we rock 40,000. That weren't there to see you, my nigga. If me and Cal was the opening group, we would have been able to do that. You can't say that. So what we did this show was we put people, we did it like 2K and we was like rookie, all-star, superstar, Hall of Fame.
There are tiers.
So you're right. So maybe what I'm saying, and this may be me mixing up, maybe A and Jada and them are legends. They're just not in my Hall of Fame. So that's why we had to work out the tier. So you're right. I'll take the hit for that. I have to regroup with legends. They're just not in my Hall of Fame. I know most people will use legend as that's the top. Like that's the ending right there. But if we're gonna go up to the Hall of Fame, because I have my criteria for the Hall of Fame, and I know on top you gotta have ballot. What'd you say?
Jadakiss's first ballot, Bill.
For the Hall of Fame? Well, but he's not getting the fuck into my Hall of Fame. I can tell you that. He's not. Because you need classic albums, plural, to get into my Hall of Fame. Yeah. You got to be a house. And we did this with M. Because I said, what happens is...
Always.
Nah, to me it's not. Because I'm an educator. So I can't say there's an exception to the rule and I got to pass this kid because he's really fucking polite. No. There comes a time when we got to draw a line. This is what's wrong with the world right now. This is why we got 12th graders who read on the third grade level, because there's an exception to the rule.
This is a bad example, though, bro. He's a very bad example for your point.
But here's the thing.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with example. This is a bad example.
But this is why we have to have a criteria. This is why when you're grading a kid, what makes everything fair and equitable is that we're just going to check boxes. And what happens is if we really, really like somebody, they're legends, they have classic albums, they get into our Hall of Fame. And then when we don't like somebody, they don't have classics, they don't get, that's not equitable. So for me, I'm about being equitable. So that's why I came up with 8 things. And I'm not an Eminem fan at all, but he makes my Hall of Fame. Why? Because I'm just checking boxes. So we all have to have boxes to check. If we don't have boxes to check, then it's not equitable. And I always tell people I move with decency and an order. And that has to be with equality. Because like I said, what happens is there's a lot of people who I may say 8-Ball and MJG ain't legends because I don't know them, but if they check, but that's disrespectful to them. So what ends up happening is most people, if you really, really keep it a buck and you look at your Hall of Fame, I bet you it's going to be a bunch of niggas you like and a bunch of niggas you don't like, don't make it. And I'm not saying you, E, I'm just saying in general, if you don't have a way to be equitable, that's what's going to happen. But let's keep moving. Queens. What do you, I called you Queens. Kel, what do you think about fucking, I might as well call you Queens, nigga. You might as well run. Fucking Marlon's running for Brooklyn. You might as well run for Queens. So what do you think about AZ? Do you think, you know, are you happy with his career? Because to me, if you almost have the GOAT verse ever, you're the number one draft pick. And there are expectations. And that was something else on the timeline with my man. He was like, nah, expectations ain't fair. And I'm like, nigga, that's the fucking game of life. There are expectations. If you're the number one draft pick, the expectations are higher for you than it is for the 29th draft pick. It just fucking is. Is it right? I don't know if it's right.
Unless you're Bronny James.
Right. Perfect example. So now, what do you think? AZ met your expectations? You know, were you happy with his career?
No, I think I'm with you. I think my expectations are very high of him. To use your NBA analogy, I think of actually someone sent me a clip of Derek Coleman on this it's called Original Flip, and they have like someone talking about someone's career. And they're talking about Derek Coleman. They're like, oh, he was in this era. If he played in this era, he'd be, you know, perfect. You know, shooting threes. You know, he's versatile. You know, point forward. Dribble ball.
Derek Coleman was supposed, for people watching, Derek Coleman was supposed to revolutionize the power forward position. That's the expectations that was put on Derek Coleman coming out of Syracuse. He may be the best power forward ever.
So I think of AZ in that same vein. You know, I thought, like you said, life's a bitch. You come out, you're like, oh, this is the next dude coming up. And like you said, I could probably name 10 songs, but I get your point. Over, you know, 9 albums, I can name 10 songs. So he didn't live up to my expectation. I mean, I think he's dope. I think when you talk about, it's funny you saying legend. Charles Oakley, you know, he's obviously banned from the Garden. So they've been trying to get it. But they were like, every time they talk to him on whatever podcast, like they would say Knicks legend. He is Knicks legend, but he ain't a legend.
Right. And somebody said that to me once. Somebody was like, Sugar Hill ain't a classic song. It's an AZ classic.
It's an AZ, correct. Yep, exactly. So, yeah, I think he didn't live up to expectations to me.
Easy's not going to last. He's going to cut off before probably in about the next 10 to 9 seconds. I'm actually counting them down.
It's not an AZ show, so I'm going to stick around.
I don't think Jada's a legend either.
Hell, man, you really pissing me off, bro. Like,
and I loved it. I loved it.
You know what? I was gonna be quiet. I was gonna be quiet, but your t-shirt collection is not better than mine, and I'm gonna start fucking proving it. I was gonna be dog, like, not getting me upset, man.
But here's the thing. This is why you got. But here's the thing, E. If you said to me, "Kill, here are my 8 boxes that you have to do to be a legend," and if Jada checks all those boxes, that's cool. The problem is the average person does not have that. I literally keep my criteria on my desktop because I know this topic is going to come up. So just if I have to go to it, that's what I go to for why you have to be the Hall of Fame. Vern says one of the greatest things ever. Everybody gets in the Hall of Fame, the shit ain't that dope. Everybody's not supposed to make principals honorable. Everybody's not supposed to get fucking all A's. Everybody's kid is not an all A student. They're fucking not. And that's no disrespect for the kids. I was always the honorable mention nigga. If I made the honorable, I was the A, B, and 1C. Like that's for us special kids who like we's fucking up, but we could get that 1C in. There's levels to this shit. And again, some of my favorite students, some of my mentees ain't never gonna be no honorable niggas. Don't mean that they not dope, don't mean that they're not special. But guess what? If I left it up to me and my bias, I'd be like, oh man, I gotta give Gerard all A's. Come on, man. He's my mentee. I love this kid. He's like a son. And that's what we do a lot of times. Whether we realize it or not, again, I promise you, if you do your Hall of Fame, I bet you 98% of the people are going to all be people that people like. That's what's gonna happen. And the people who we don't like ain't gonna get no love. But neither here nor there. Veg, what about you, AZ?
Shit. What's the question? Is he a legend? Or what?
Just basically, is did he live up to your expectations? You heard, and I'm sorry for people watching. This is why me and Easy get on here, and the show goes somewhere else. The show is about features who lived up to your expectations, features that didn't. Did AZ's feature live up to your expectations? When you heard AZ, did you think 30 years later you'd say he has one classic song and no classic albums? If that's what you think. Now, you may think, hey, Kill, he's got 9 albums. I think 8 of them are classics. So based off of what you believe of AZ, do you believe he lived up to your expectations from hearing him on Life's a Bitch?
I don't think so, but I do feel I think Easy had the perfect word for like underachiever in a lot of ways, because the bar was set so high with that Life's a Bitch feature that to me it's cool. Now I have criteria, but my criteria is based on listening to those 10 albums. You can't grade shit you ain't heard. So I feel like he has songs that are dope, but unfortunately in hip hop, people tap out at certain points, and maybe there was a song later in his career that could have been considered a classic if hip hop didn't abandon certain artists at certain points in their career because they felt like, that was 94 or whatever. But I don't know, because with the legend thing it's difficult, because I feel like even beyond having a classic album, he did a lot. Like, he wasn't like getting out rapped by Nas on all these features and shit throughout their career. He was from Stillmatic, like he was right there with him. Kings and Bees also. So I feel like you said, it's like you're in the league. You're not a bum, right? You get minutes. You're playing. Maybe you don't get into the Hall of Fame if you didn't win a chip, but it's tough. There has to be a word for somebody who's contributed the way he has, or the way Jadakiss has.
There is a word. It's called legend. Fuck, man.
I think, you know what I think it is? I think, because I don't even like calling anybody GOAT except for LL Cool J. But
right,
I don't like doing that, because then I feel like I'm leaving people out, right? Like, I'm not thinking about the bigs and the pots. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not thinking about them hard enough to say, well, how can one person be one? So I feel like legend is not that hard of a term. I feel like he gets it, but you God don't.
Right. Now, here's the thing, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. And when we did that show, what everybody had to do for that show was come to the table with the criteria. So before we even started the show, Easy would have had to say, here are the 8 things you need to do to be a legend. Kel would have had to say, these are the 8 things. Everybody comes with their criteria first. Because to me, if you don't have a criteria, you can't really intelligently talk in the conversation, because it's really still going off of what your biases are, because most of us do that. You know what I mean? So that was the first thing of the show was, okay, boom, Easy, what's your criteria to be because we talked about, we started with what's a regional legend. You know what I mean? And then if you ever hear me talk on the show, I'll be like, yo, Trey Lee, the Philadelphia legend. You know what I mean? He in Philly, he's a legend. But I'll never be like Trey Lee, the hip hop legend. This is my guy. Like, this is my, you know what I mean? But I'm not, just because you my nigga, I can't, Trey, you don't check the boxes to get into the legend, but you are a Philadelphia legend. You are. You know what I mean? Somebody asked me the other day, Kill, Schoolie D a regional legend? And I'm like, nigga, he fucking invented gangster rap. No, he's not a fucking regional legend. The Tough Crew is a regional legend. Veg, have you ever heard of the Tough Crew?
Nope.
Okay, Easy. You ever heard of the Tough Crew?
I think through you I have, to be honest.
All right, quick. Cal, you ever heard of the Tough Crew?
Absolutely.
But hold on for a second, Easy. Let me just live with this one. I'm going to give it to you. The reason why Tough Crew is a regional legend, Kel, freshman year, I'm at somebody's house party, and I'm chilling, and I told the DJ, like, yo, let me put something on. I'm going to shut shit down, okay? I know Spence knows fucking Tough Crew. I didn't even ask him because he's from Philly, so I know.
Danger Zone.
Exactly. They had a song called My Part of Town. From 1989 to 1991, if you played this song, I swear to God, everybody would lose their shit. It was the biggest fucking song in Philadelphia, okay? I'm here at a party with New York niggas, Jersey niggas, Baltimore niggas, DC niggas. I play that shit. It is fucking crickets. Niggas are like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, y'all never. And that was that moment in 1992 that it showed me, just because something is dope in your city or in your borough, and you believe that the whole world knows this song, nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. Now, what I found out from Twitter is it's very big in Miami because it's a bass heavy song. My part of town is very bass heavy. So a lot of Miami niggas was like, nah, we know that shit. We used to play that shit all the time. That would be a regional legend for Tough Crew, because all of you all are hip hop heads, but half of y'all never heard of them before. Now, what are you gonna say?
I only heard it because of Morgan, like you said, Kill. I remember all the Philly heads were word for word.
Yeah, if you played My Part of Town, we lost our shit. But the fact that people from New Jersey and New York, 2 hours away, had never heard the song, never even heard of the group before, showed
Unless
me.
you were from like South Jersey.
Yeah, South Jersey got it. South Jersey and probably Delaware.
Yeah.
But the problem was I'm hanging with Newark niggas and Brooklyn and Bronx niggas and Baltimore niggas, and it skipped those two states. Like that's it. It ain't go past Delaware or South Jersey. That was it. Same thing with Crown Rulers. Kick the Ball. Regional classic. If you play Kick the Ball, I lose my shit. It's one of my favorite songs ever, and probably none of y'all ever heard this shit. What you gonna say, Eve?
I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna die on the hill of there's always the exception, because I know Melly Mel doesn't check all them boxes you got over there somewhere.
Right.
Grandmaster Flash don't got no fucking albums. How you gonna have two classics?
Right.
You're not gonna tell me these guys are not legends, Kill, because we'll fucking square up, bro.
I would personally say they're pioneers,
which makes them legends.
It's two different words. That's why.
No,
Again,
you are the stingiest florist.
No, I'm not stingy. It's the educator. I've been educating for 25 years, so that's why I want to give everybody their props, but everybody does not get to go into the same box. So, and again, this is the thing, and I tell people on Twitter this all the time. This is just me. Y'all could be like, "Fuck you, Kill. You don't know shit." I got my own criteria. My challenge has never been, I'm not the pastor who's like, yo, join my church. I'm the pastor who's like, just find a church home. That's it. Y'all don't have to join my church. Y'all ain't got to agree with me. I just challenge people to have their own criteria, because we have these arguments in the barbershop. I got you, Vague. We have these arguments, but you don't have to agree with my criteria. I just want everyone to have their own criteria. So I don't want somebody to just say, why is Melly Mel a legend? Oh, because he did The Message. That's not enough for me. That's like your kid. Your kid can't give a book report like that.
That's not it though.
No. But what I'm just saying is that you would have to tell me, Kill, Melly Mel is a legend, because for my legend, my criteria for being a legend, he checks the boxes. That's the only thing I'm asking for people. Y'all don't have to agree with me. In fact, that was what was so dope about that show, is that everybody had their own criteria. Why was there no arguing? Because it was like, oh, I see your criteria. Yao was on a show. He was like, yo, to be in my top 10, you don't have to write your own rhymes. So when he said that from the beginning, when he said Drake was in his GOAT top 10 list, nobody said anything, because we're like, oh, we all know for Yao, he doesn't mind if somebody else writes your rhymes. So again, do I agree with that? Fuck no. There ain't no way you in my top 10 GOAT list and you don't write my own rhymes. But guess what? That's Yao Jesus' list. That's not my list. So I respect them. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But that's why we did it first. Vague, what about you? What were you about to say?
I was going to say, I think we kind of circling the wagons, because I think you just proved it, right? We all have criteria. So if we don't agree with your criteria versus that criteria, it doesn't matter. It's everybody's different criteria without verbalizing it.
Right.
I was on that show, so I gave them criteria.
But I think the problem is most people don't have a criteria, babe. That's the thing.
I'm saying we do.
Oh yeah, we do. But I'm just saying, for the people watching,
I don't fuck with them niggas on the.
I know you don't fuck with nobody. I know. I'm not even talking about social media. I'm talking about on the block. I could go on my blog right now and be arguing with niggas, and niggas ain't gonna have no fucking criteria. In fact, niggas will probably shit on me like, here go this college motherfucker. We knew since your ass went to college. Now you want to come on the block talking criterias and fucking prerequisites and all this shit. Nigga, I fuck with Kane. He better than G-Rap. Shut the fuck up, Kill. Like, This is how niggas argue. Niggas are not in the barbershop like, well, you know, he checks my box here and he checks that box. I'll give him a hat. So again, I don't think so. That's why I'm just saying that to be fair, to be equitable, that I just think everybody should have that. And that's it. Like to me, and that's all I'm saying. Spence, what about you, bro? AZ, did he live up to your expectations?
Nah, you saw the potential with the verse with Life's a Bitch, but I think he never got to that next level. And then when you talk about him and Nas, when they rhyme together, they do kind of go back and forth. But you see the difference when Nas makes an album, you see the versatility. AZ don't have the versatility for him. Nas will give you I Give You a Power. Nas will give you Once a Man, Twice a Child. He'll give you these different things. He'll do Rewind. And that's the difference between Nas and AZ for me.
Right.
So AZ has some legendary moments, I think. But overall, I don't think he's a legend. A very dope MC.
Right.
Oh
and
wait, let me add
it,
this. I saw it today on I forget who, but I think it was Gilbert Arenas podcast. But this is essentially what we're talking about, right? There's a meeting of legends. AZ and Jadakiss can come in that room, but then there's a back room with everybody with rings, which is to your point, Kill, where it's like that's a different room. That everybody here has done something. They have done something that not many people have done, so they're in that room. So I could agree that there's levels, like you said, but I think when you put up, and not just AZ, obviously, but when
there's a list of, and for people watching, just bear with us. This is not an AZ show,
right? It's not just AZ. But I think when you go through not just his catalog of music, but just everything he's done, and even being in Philly and they performed Sugar Hill and that crowd went crazy. Obviously, not everybody's from Philly, but I doubt it was mostly people from somewhere else.
Right.
I think there were certain people who couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? That to Easy's point, that says he's something. You know, maybe to you he's not a legend, but he belongs in a room because he stood shoulder to shoulder with some of the greats who do have classic albums and stuff like that. So, but I agree. This ain't got no classic albums. Okay.
And this is why the day party went on for so long, because to me they were good discussions. Because I'm like, somebody was like, yo, I feel like AZ needs to be in the group. Like if him and Nas did an album together, boom, on it. That thing would probably be crazy. You know what I mean? But I just think, and then for me, like, I always felt like the beats weren't really there. So when I found out he was doing the album with Buck Wild, I was like, oh, this is it. I was like, yo, this is it. This is finally the AZ album I've been waiting for, because people are like, Kill, you just don't fuck with AZ. No, nigga, I actually do. This is why I was so hyped. Like, finally, we're going to get the album I've been waiting for. And neither of them came with it. To me, the Buck Wild beats weren't crazy. And for AZ, again, I feel like it's just, I know what you're going to do. Like, it's why the NBA is boring to me, because it's like, I know what you're going to do. Now, somebody out there saying, Kill, you love Pusha, he been selling drugs different ways for the last 20 years, okay? This nigga said white slave master souls in my seat. That's another way to talk about money. Give me something new. Give me something like AZ, like Jada. And I don't know how these categories go, because easy, Jada's a great one. The problem with Jada, not the problem, but the thing that makes Jada different to me is that Jada at least has them quotables. Jada would be making, rewind it back.
Infinite quotables.
What that nigga say, I parallel park on the track. Oh my fucking God. Yeah. There's all these oh my fucking God moments with Jadakiss. I don't have that with AZ. When I hear Sugar Hill,
what I think
great song, but there's nothing on Sugar Hill that makes me go, oh my God, did you hear what AZ said? Rather Unique, when he did the whole intravenous with the like leukemia, parts of me, I'm vicious, mad, malicious, I'm real on this road to riches. He has those moments. He's that player who has the moments, and you're like, there it is. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there's the moment. Where'd it go? Where Jada, every bar that Jada gives you, I'm like, rewind back. Right where you stand, rewind that shit back. That nigga say Kiss keep funeral homes open, rewind it back. So to me, that's another level that Jada is above AZ, because for me, not for anybody else, but for me, I don't have rewindable moments with AZ after the Do or Die album.
So two things about AZ quickly. One, I got a story when the show's over, if y'all remember.
All right.
Two, what I think hurt him well, not necessarily hurt him, but would have helped him a lot more is if the Firm album would have been what it should have been, because he was cooking Nas that whole fucking album. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That shit would have been what it was supposed to be. We could have been having a different conversation. That could have been, because he would have been a star player on the classic.
And what somebody else said, and I totally agree with this. Somebody said AZ needed a dope executive producer.
Absolutely.
He needed somebody to say, rap about something. Like, where's AZ's story? Where's his Blazer 50?
And that ties into the story I'm gonna tell y'all later.
Okay, but that's my thing. Like, where is that magic? Where is the magic? And to me, the magic, even when he got with Premier, it was underwhelming to me. I was never like, oh shit, AZ and Premier. It was underwhelming to me. Like, I mean, it was good, but it's not. Usually at that time when the format came out, if you were with Premier, you would almost guarantee the street banger. And keep in mind, everybody watch, I said street banger, not classic hip hop song. All Cities fucking the Actual is a street banger. I love that song. Makes me hype as shit. To me, it's not a hip hop classic song. So at that point in time, Premier was guaranteeing you a street
You do this manipulative shit, bro. When you talk about AZ, and then to prove your point, you fucking mentioned All City, bro.
No. What I'm saying,
what are you doing?
No,
Stop trying to say niggas.
Come on, dog. This is not a shot at A. What I'm saying is that Premier was giving people. I don't believe Premier was giving AZ the best beats. That's what I'm saying. If you want to know what I'm saying, it's not about A. Because and I know MCs pick what the fuck they pick. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of MCs. I be sending beats out like, yo, y'all should love these, and MCs always like the beats I don't fucking love. So again, MCs pick what they pick. That's why I said, well, someone was saying, and I agree, A just needed an executive producer to say, you know what? Let's go a little bit deeper, A. Like what are we gonna talk about on this song, A? Like what? Like somebody was like, Kill, how can you not like AZ? He has songs about bettering the black community. I was like, give me a song. What song am I supposed to play to my kids to make them say, oh, AZ said I could be a better black man in the world today? You know, and it may be a line, but it's not a song. But I don't want to belabor AZ. Easy. Who is somebody who you heard from a feature and they lived up to your expectations?
Snoop Dogg, Deep Cover.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah.
I skipped the one that's on everybody's list because I don't even want to fucking say it. I feel like everyone's gonna say it, especially the Queens guy.
I
know you ain't about to say you ain't got nobody from Queens on this list, Cal. I know you ain't about to say that.
Yo, Snoop Dogg is like, whether you like him, whether you dislike him, like we saw what happened. And the crazy thing about Snoop was, like, his superstar was born on Dre's album. Yeah. Like, he was kind of like a premature superstar. And then Doggy Style came out and forget about it. So he's probably like prime example.
Yeah. I mean, Deep Cover. I mean, I remember hearing Deep Cover for the first time being like, yo, who the fuck is this nigga rhyming? When that nigga said Mr. Snoop Eastwood, I was like, God damn. Like, who is this? And then when he comes back and you hear nothing but a G thing, it's like, oh, he back. Dope. So I dead ass agree. I mean, Snoop has had 21 albums. Not all have been great, but at the end of the day, I still feel like there's an anticipation there for a new Snoop. You know, I know I'm one of the few people who still like Missionary. It seemed like everybody liked it for about 4 days, and then it was like, oh, that shit trash. I still like the album personally. But I feel like that's still there. Like Snoop still does it. So that's a great point. Do you have somebody on your list who did not meet your expectations?
I do.
Who you got?
Memphis Bleak. Memphis Bleak,
that's a
Bleak,
good one.
Bleak is what I say, innocent by association. Like, on the surface, you would think more of him. Jay-Z's right hand man. All the, he was part of like a lot of, dope shit and records, being with Jay and Siegel and even Cam and all that. But when you look at the big picture, from a music standpoint, an artist standpoint, and not even to say that he has bad albums. I thought his albums were decent. I always, it's just he just didn't. He don't got like it. I feel like he just didn't have like it, But when you heard because it started with Coming of Age, right? It started with Coming of Age.
I fuck with him on It's All Right. On It's All Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But listen, I don't want to change the topic, but so he got skipped on Volume 1, Volume 2. It's All Right, Coming of Age 2. And you're like, yo, this dude is out of here. He's on his way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like he underachieved, and it's like, you got to give him a lot of credit because he's staying, with the podcast and shit, he's staying relevant to this day, and I salute that for sure. But he was, even before the podcast, he was very quiet, right. And a lot of them doors open for him because of who he's cool with. But I feel I definitely expected more, especially there was the Handed Down intro. Speaking of Premiere,
that's it right there. That's it. That's what I was about to say. I'm like,
you heard that?
I feel like Rockefeller fucked up Bleak because they were trying to make him do certain songs. If they would have just let him be a hip hop, beat fit in that lane, like you hear, Hold It Down. That's it. That's Bleak. That's just
he was doing like when he did the Is That Your Chick and the Round Hair and all that. I thought those were dope records.
Right.
But I honestly was like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, I feel like somebody gave him these. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this belongs to somebody else. Yo, this is a heater. We got to get this to Bleak.
Right.
Right. I feel like another thing with Bleak, and I'm not one to really speak on shit that I wasn't there for, don't know about. But I remember vividly, like the first time I heard, I remember the first DJ Clue album.
Yeah,
he had that song. It was called "That Thugged Out Shit."
I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember the Thugged Out Shit song.
The first Professional.
It was and it was on a Clue mixtape first.
All right.
I heard a crazy decline in the bars, and it was kind of evident to me that he wasn't writing Handed Down, Coming of Age, and all that. It's me. I wasn't there.
Right.
Wasn't there, but I give you a Memphis Bleak story after the show too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nigga,
you heard,
like the days.
Right. But in all respect, I fuck with Bleak. I think Bleak, like I said, he made good albums. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
for what he did for what he was working with, he did well. It just didn't help that obviously he wasn't on Jay's level. Then he wasn't on Siegel's level. Like, he was always getting overshadowed. Even Free was dropping like What We Do and Free and all my Rock the Mic.
But the crazy thing is, it reminds me of a little AZ because Siegel and Bleak had a lot of songs together. And it's not like Bleak was smoking them on them songs. Like on Bleak's second album, they had the So What You Say joint. And I was like, I wouldn't have been mad at a Bleak Siegel album back then.
Yo.
You know what I mean? So
I just feel like the discrepancy is too big to compare them to Nas and AZ.
Right.
With Nas and AZ, that's
no. I wasn't saying it like that. No, I wasn't saying like that. I was just saying it made me like kind of think like, even though Bleak isn't as good as Beans, it wasn't like they didn't sound good together.
They complimented each other.
Yeah, it wasn't like
even on the Cam record.
Right.
They both. I thought that shit was fire. They all sounded really good on that too. But Bleak was just one of them guys that I would always like give the benefit of the doubt, and then it just didn't happen.
Right. All right, Kel, who you got? Give me somebody who you lived up to your anticipation. And you pick which one you want to do. Somebody who lived up or somebody who didn't.
I got both.
All right.
I'm gonna go to Queens first for both actually.
Okay.
So, lived to expectations. I have Q-Tip promo. First time I heard him on Jungle Brothers. Q-Tip, unique voice. I'm like, who's this dude? Obviously, JB Straight Outta Jungle is a classic album. So introducing him, and obviously we know what Q-Tip becomes. And then for my not making it, I got Nature. DV. Like, I've heard him he was all over Clue freestyles and stuff. So, I thought Nature was next up. I really did. And
Nature has one of the best opening bars in the history of hip hop. Well, it's not really opening bar, but I Get Pussy With My Father's Features is literally, to me, one of the dopest bars ever in the history of hip hop. Ever. Nah, so what do you think happened with Nature? What you think?
It's funny. I was just watching something. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I guess he was on Drink Champs, and they were talking about.
Oh, Nature's on Drink Champs.
He's on Drink Champs with I think it's Clue. I think he might be on one of the recent ones, and he's talking about, I guess, Nas, almost the way he was talking about the Firm album. You know, Cormega, Nas have fallen out. Nature comes in, and Nas like, let me manage your career. And Nature is listening to somebody else like, nah, I'm gonna take this money from Pone and Token Pone, Trackmaster. And Nas like, nah, we ain't I ain't helping you no more because I told you to wait. And obviously the whole thing, the album comes out, it's not great. And I don't know, it's just he just never recovered from that, I don't think. I don't know.
He had one banger on there that Ski did. What was it? Something about 4 Seasons or something?
4 Seasons, 4 Seasons, yeah.
It was a banger Ski had.
The Ultimate High, was it that?
Maybe, yeah. It was something with a flute sample. That shit.
He had a video for all that. For that.
Right, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I like Man's World and We Ain't Friends on that album.
I need to go back and listen to that shit.
That album it's not great, but it's not bad though. It's not.
It would have started really good.
All right.
No doubt.
Yeah, I need to go back and peep.
First like 5 or 6 joints, I was really fucking with.
Yeah.
All right, Veg, who you got for one who lived up and one who didn't?
Who did besides Nature? Who else did Kel say?
Oh, he did
Q-Tip.
Q-Tip off the Jungle Brothers promo.
Okay.
Heard me in the 80s JBs on the promo.
I'm gonna go with Beanie Siegel as somebody who did. I think around that time it's a little different because he was on multiple features, right? But hearing him on Reservoir Dogs with the Locks, somebody else that I'm going to mention on my didn't make it list, and and Jay, and then on that Roots joint, Adrenaline, I was like, "Dope, this dude get busy," like, you know what I'm saying? So, and he has a classic album to me in the coming, so I feel like he could have been similar to AZ if he didn't have that album that was probably like his masterpiece, but freestyles, battles, you know what I'm saying? Like he got it all. Rhyme on any track or whatever.
Features.
Right, features. The other person was Sauce Money. Man, I was so hyped for Sauce Money. I was like, yo, these freestyles, these talk about going back and forth with Hove on the track. Like, it's like, yo, when is he dropped it?
This was
What
not
was the
what I
feature
thought it was
though,
gonna be.
Veg? Where did you first hear Sauce, the feature? Was it Bring It On?
Song wise,
Pre-game?
it probably was.
Pre-game?
Yeah, okay.
Pre-game.
The mixtapes is what really got me though. Like,
Kel, that pregame, off the Belly soundtrack.
Pre-game, yeah.
Bring It On was definitely first though.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I heard Sauce was Bring It On. Yeah, I think with Sauce, it was something with Rockefeller, man. Like, I don't, even when I'm looking at the album, because I promise y'all, my OG, A Kid Called Roots, maybe 97, 98, I'm at his crib in Queens. He plays me a whole Sauce album he produced. Shit was crazy. Shit was fucking bananas. It was everything that you expected it to be. And I don't know what happened. I don't know why it got shelved. I don't know what happens. I'm gonna fucking text that nigga right now and see if he still got that shit. I'm about to text this nigga right now. Like, nigga, do you still got that Sauce Money fucking album? Because that's how crazy that shit was.
You got to send that my way if you get it, bro.
I mean, this was just like all on that. Like, this wasn't nothing. But, and I don't know what happened. I don't know how it got shelved or what. Yeah, and Bruce used to manage Sauce because the Against the Grain joint. I always tell that story how I really A&R'd that shit because Primo sent the beat. I was like, that ain't it. Roots went back, got the Against the Grain beat off the what's that, Soul in the Hole soundtrack. And to me, Against the Grain is just crazy. But Sauce is a wild dude, man. That shit was, he definitely should have been next up. Spence, what you got up for yours too, bro?
I got Big Daddy Kane, just rhyming with Biz. And I think the first 2 albums were so impactful. Now I know after that it was a lot of slippage, But the first two albums were so impactful far as the next tier of lyricism that I gotta have him in. He exceeded my expectations. Cause he just from him doing that, you got the next tier of MCs that looked up to him, and you could even see it down in today's MCs. Took something from Big Daddy Kane. So I think the impact alone is there for me. And the person I have who didn't make it, Keith Murray. I heard him on Hostile. I thought this one was about to be a problem.
Yeah.
The first album came out, he had some Jones on there, but after that, he just didn't really. He had moments, even on the LL joint. He went crazy on there. He had moments on certain albums, but just didn't really pan out. And I think, he was going through some stuff too, obviously. He got some mental things going on and stuff too. So maybe all that kind of played a part into him not really succeeding the way he should have.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had Keith on mine too, because again, Hostile, when that nigga something cerebellum, you got a crew, you better tell him. You know what I mean? The razor blade under the tongue, all that shit. I was like, yo, this is a wild boy right here. And
I'm about to break through with my busy tool.
Right. Yo, it was
so like much a mad journalist.
Yo, dog. And you're right. I mean, even the first album, I mean, I'm like, it's a good album, but to me, it wasn't a classic. No. And the second album, Enigma, the only thing I really fucked with Hard Body on there was the rhyme. And that's the Dilla remix. I mean, Eric Sermon, Before I Let Go joint was cool. But again, as far as what you're saying, and it may be like a lot of these MCs did have moments, because you had the LL joint. You got Keith setting it off on the Mary album. You know what I mean? You got Keith here and there. You got Keith's song with Candyman, but just couldn't get that album. You know what I mean? All put together like that. And it's kind of weird because
El Nino Def Squad joint was all right.
Yeah, and again, this may be a little like, because somebody has said, well, Kill, do you put AZ and Keith Murray in the same category? And I'm like, AZ is better, but kind of, sort of, because, when he's in a group, Keith sounds cool. If you only need a verse. But this is what I mean by, like, we heard Keith Murray on Hostile, and it was like, oh, shit. But then he kept rhyming, like, so the oh, shit moment don't hit as much every time doing the same shit. Because it's not like Keith is really... Where's the story? Like, where's the growth? Where's the maturity? So I think that's it was Keith. Next up for me, somebody who lived up to my potential, Redman on Hardcore. When I heard EPMD's join Hardcore and he came in, I was like, oh yeah, this dude about to be crazy. And shout out my man Walt, my old head who lived across the street from me. He used to mess with the John Karen Mayo, who used to work at the Source. This like right when DOS came out, and this before the whole EPMD thing. He was like, yo, Eric and them got this dude named Redman from Jersey. He crazy. And I'm like, nigga, he ain't better than DOS Effects. That nigga just laughed at me like, nigga, oh, you young dumb nigga. Like, you'll see, And then you hear Blow My Mind and what the album, Kelv. I think that album got so much play our freshman year at Morgan. I mean, geez, that was like, I feel like that was the come out party for New Jersey. Like, Woody was cool, Latifah was cool, but when Redman came out, that's when niggas was wearing Jersey on their chest. You know what I mean? And interviews from Newark, it was crazy. I mean, I don't know if it's talked about enough, but I mean, Red 3-album run of What, Dare, and Muddy Waters is kind of fucking, and Doc's name. I know some people. Name.
I wasn't a fan of the second album.
Yeah. Well, here's the wild part about Dare. I didn't like Dare at first. And my man Gnu, shout out my man Gnu. He comes through my crib one day. We working on some music back at Morgan. I was like, I'm not fucking with this Dare. That nigga said, yo, you smoke weed, Kill? I was like, nah. He was like, well, that's your fucking problem, nigga. You don't smoke weed. If you smoked weed, you love this shit. You know what I mean? So Dare kind of grew on me because it doesn't have the same feeling as What. You know what I mean? And that's what I was looking for was What Part 2. And I kind of felt like Eric kind of did with Can't Wait. He kind of did the same thing with God, what is this shit with Hurricane G? Get off that pump. Tonight's the night. I felt like Tonight's the Night, like he tried to follow that up with Can't Wait. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel you, Spence. I know a lot of people who don't fuck with the second one. Over time, I've come to like it a lot better. But when it dropped, I was disappointed initially. Like, I was like, damn, like I was expecting more from Red, but maybe one of the dopest 3 albums runs. The people who I got who did not live up to my expectations, Smith and Wesson. You know what I mean? When I heard them on Black Smith and Wesson off of fucking Black Moon's debut album and heard them on You the Man, I was like, yo, Tech and Still, like, you know, I keep a Black Smith and Wesson in my polo jacket. Like, I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. And then of course we get The Shining, 5 Mic Classic, one of the greatest albums, one of my favorite albums ever. And then it's just like The Rude Awakening, nah, you know what I mean? And I know around that time the Beat Miners breakup was happening and the whole name change thing and going to the Cocoa Brothers. But it just seemed like they could never bring it back. Reloaded in 05, Smith & Wesson the album in 07. He did Monumental with Pete Rock that I thought, okay, this is gonna be crazy. Pete producing the whole album. It wasn't, and that's 11. And I'm like, I think it comes down to sound too. Like, I'm like, I don't think Pete has what Smith & Wesson need. You know what I mean? And even his new album, Infinity, you know, so they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've had 7 albums out. They actually had a reggae EP out called Born and Raised back in 2013, which wasn't bad. But I just think, like, somebody said, you know who got a new song out? The Bush Babies. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, that Jamaican shit ain't the same way. It ain't hitting the same in 2025 like it did in 94. Like, you know, when Shaba and, you know, Little Vicious and all that shit, like, nah, nigga, I'm not doing the Jamaican thing no more. In Infinity, I think it's a good album. There's the song on there with Pharoah I love. I'm like, yo, that song is crazy. It's great songs. But again, after The Shining, you couldn't have told me that Smith & Wesson would not have gone on to have a career similar to Mobb Deep. Like, I thought that they would do the 1A, 1B of like Queens and Brooklyn going back and forth, and Smith & Wesson just didn't do that for me, you know. So.
You was fucking with the All? I like that. I like their last 2 albums, yo.
I thought, and again, it's nothing wrong, but again, The Shining, like, it's one of my favorite albums.
I got you.
It's like you, and I think one of the things that a lot of, not us, but a lot of people do is there's no more the ear and the eye test anymore. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is like, Kel, I'm at Morgan. Osei's like, yo, you gotta see this nigga named Steve Francis. I'm like, word? He was like, yeah, he played in JUCO, but he about to transfer to Maryland. I'll never forgot the point guard for Maryland's name. He was from Philly. And I was like, well, he can't be the starting point guard because whatever the nigga's name is from Philly started. And like the nigga laughed at me, like, nigga, come on. The first time I saw Steve Francis play, I was like, oh yeah, this nigga gonna be something. You know, and I feel now with the NBA, it's all analytical. It's no more the eye test. It's he does this and he's a 30, 40, 50 guy and all. And I sometimes think people do that with the air too. Like, we just don't listen for it anymore. It's like, oh, but he's got this many spins and this many records. Like, we just gotta get back to the air test. And so I fucked with the All, but it's just like, yo, these dudes, I feel like you're capable. And I think that's the thing that bothers me even more is that you're capable of making a 5 Mic album. You know what I mean? Like, you have the talent. Like, you're not making great albums because you're not talented. It's like that episode of Bill Cosby and Malcolm Jamal Warner, God Bless the Dead, when he's like, nigga, no, Theo, we ain't going for this bullshit. Nigga, go get some good fucking grades. We not going for this. You ain't gonna be a doctor like me. Like, you have it in you. And I think that's what bothers me. It's like, you did it before. Come back. And I used to be like, get back with the Beat Miners. Then I'd hear a new Beat Miners album. And I'm like, no, don't get back with the Beat Miners. Like, they don't have it no more either. So I don't know what you do. I mean, they've tried everything. They've gotten down with Ninth Wonder. They've gotten down with his whole little production crew. They tried Pete Rock. I got nothing. As an A&R, I got absolutely nothing.
I was going to ask you, Kill, if you like that Beat Miners Stifled Creativity album.
It was cool. It was cool. It was cool. But again, nigga, you gave us fucking Bucktown. You gave us Who Got the Props. You gave us How Many MCs. And I get it from a production standpoint. Producing in the early 90s was really relatively easy. Find a break beat, find you a jazz record with a bass line, and fucking find a horn sample. Boom, voila, you are off to the fucking races. So production has advanced, and I just don't know if everybody's kept up with that. Easy. What you got up next with somebody who lived up to and somebody who did?
Yo, man, I'm completely shocked that nobody's mentioned this already. Busta Rhymes Scenario, man. I thought this was going to be one of the first ones that got let go. Busta Rhymes, that goes without saying, man. Busta had a.
You know, the only reason why I didn't say Busta, because I heard him on Case of the PTA. Like, he wasn't introduced to me through the Scenario.
Scenario wasn't first?
Was it? Nah, yeah. He was already out. Leaders were out already. So that's the only reason why I didn't name them, because I was just naming people who I heard their first time me hearing them was on the feature. But no, stay with Busta. Stay with Busta.
That's my young shit. But I mean, it is what it is. I
stay
picked
with Busta.
But you know, like, I think that was my introduction. So it was like, you know, either way, whether it was the first time or not, like, you saw it and you was like, this guy's gonna go somewhere, and he did.
Right.
So I guess it's still. I mean, criteria is a word, right?
No.
You
know
know what I mean?
Here you go. Nah, it's about what you heard first, because somebody
I'm saying it's my criteria. I'm actually I'm agreeing. So Busta definitely. I mean, I feel like it goes. We don't really gotta, you know, get into, you know, what Busta Rhymes did and all that. That's my pick. And then, you know, for who didn't, another guy I'm surprised didn't get mentioned already. I'm gonna go to the Lost Boys Music Makes Me High remix. Cannabis the Bug Dealer.
He's on my list. He's on my list.
On that, it's a stick up, make you put your hands on your head like you was doing sit-ups. I'm like, yo, hold on. You know? And you know, Corrupt was on that, right? You know, Corrupt was highly regarded as a spitter at this time as well. You know, Lost Boys was more, you know, Lost Boys, you know, I mean, for me personally, they just had fire joints. You know what I mean? I never thought, you know, Cheeks falls into the category of he always rapped the same, but I felt like it worked for him. I'm not even mad at it. But, you know, like, you know, for him to, you know, so it wasn't difficult for Cannabis to outshine him, but I thought it was impressive that he cooked Corrupt on that too, my opinion.
Beats from the East with Redman.
Huh?
Beats from the East with Redman and Lost Boys.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I was gonna go there as you continue on. Even Boys to Men, when he did Boys to Men, he was flaming that. And then he did the was it MTV with the Fugees when he was painted fucking silver like a weirdo. That was crazy, but he was cooking it though. Why he had a couple songs with Wyclef, the no airplay, like he was cooking features, period, and freestyles. And you know, we all know. I feel like, you know, this conversation is played out. We've had this conversation a million times, but I don't really feel like the starting point, the Music Makes Me High remix, gets mentioned enough. So I went with Cannabis. You know,
nah, that's a dope joint. I mean, he's got to go down in history as one of the most anticipated artists who didn't, whether it's a feature, whatever, just we all like, and that's why another reason your pick of Snoop, I give him so much credit because he lived up to the hype. You know what I mean? Because Doggy Style in '94 may have been the most anticipated album, and I mean that was out here on the East Coast too. You know what I mean? So I could only imagine what it was like on the West Coast. And he lived up to the hype. So it's like that. It's almost like with LeBron. Like it's like, not only is he great, but I think he deserves even more props because he lived up to everything he was supposed to be. You know, the child prodigy, the chosen one, the one who's going to take over the league. Like he lived up to all those things as is. So I definitely think that's why we have to get Snoop.
There was three guys, and they've all been mentioned already. 3 guys that I heard for the first time, and I'm like, these guys are fucking out of here tomorrow. AZ, Cannabis, and Sauce Money. Those are the 3 guys that when I heard them for the first time, I was like, they're blowing up tomorrow. They're out of here.
Yeah. Sauce Vague, that was a great pick with Sauce because I don't think enough people know about Sauce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the shit on the Jay's second album, what was that song with my Brooklyn crew? Put your guns up in the air. Yo, man.
Sauce was really cooking a lot of shit though. He was always very nice though. Celebration, he fucked Celebration up too.
And don't get me started on that Streets is watching the video joint, the old school VHS joint. That was my shit too. That's like a hood classic right there. Kel, who you got up next, bro?
I got 2 people from the same camp. One good, I thought, one bad. Didn't turn out to. I got J-Ru, Speak It Cloud. First time I heard him on Gangstar. I think J-Ru got, Sunrise in the East, classic album. Wrapped in Math, I think, is a solid album too. And Heroes Were High, a little slip off, but I thought he, just him on the first joint. I was like, oh, he's taking off, and then obviously,
J-Ru was on my list.
He's on your list.
Yeah, he on my list too.
The Man though, I thought I'm the Man was first. That's what I had.
I'm the Man. I'm the Man is first. I'm the Man off of Daily Operation. Because when that bass line came in, it was like the doom doom. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah. I'll tap your jaw. You never heard it before. Oh my!
And I love that you mentioned it, Kel, because I was like, yo, like because I said Snoop and Busta. These are like two super duper stars. So I'm like, yo, what is the criteria here? Like, I just thought he went on and he made two classics back to back. That was enough for me. But I wasn't sure, like, like we talking about stars or whatever. So I'm glad we was on the same page there.
No doubt. Then I got Crumb Snatcher from Your Town.
Wow, Crumb.
Make him
Close to God. That's a classic right there. Getting close to God. Yo.
Like, who's this dude? And nothing. I mean, nothing. I don't know what happened in that situation. I don't know if it's that's 98. So I don't know if the falling out with Guru and Premier has happened at that point, and Gangstar Foundation is falling apart. I don't even know. But Crumb
That's
Snatcher,
what happened. I never even knew what happened.
I don't even know. I have no idea
Okay.
what the fallout, but nothing. I mean, he got a couple. I think he has one album that I saw in discography, I believe. But I mean, nothing. He got like a lot of loose singles here and there. I heard Primo talked about it on the last Gangstar, the posthumous album with Guru, and he said something about Crumb Snatcher coming back in the fold, but nothing's ever happened with that. So I don't even know. But I had so much expectations with him, and nothing.
So me being from a little, I'll give you a little bit. I can give you a little bit of background on Crumb. So the same dudes that were that he was signed to, like in the underground, I was fucking with at one point on the music tip too. So I know Crumb.
Yeah, sure.
So he had Snatcher Season. That's where Closer to God came from.
Yes,
with Primo, and his buzz out here, because we're neighbors. He's from Lawrence. I'm from Haverhill, literally a 10-minute drive. They're both 30 to 40 minutes north of Boston. He had a song called Gangster's Disease. Bink did a remix. And he was buzzing really, really heavy back then. But then, the Closer to God came out, and that buzz, he got the Source fat tape and all that shit. Yeah, I remember the fat tape and the Source.
Yeah, fat tape, yeah.
He got the Quotable for Make 'Em Pay. He buzzed out, and he had joints. He had the Snatcher Season 2 album is fire. I don't think you can stream them, but if you guys can get your hands on those, he had some joints from he had a vinyl for Killing Me that Knots did, and it's actually Knots on the hook. Killing Me, that shit's hard. He got some shit. Definitely got some shit. I was definitely rooting for Crumb. He was Crumb unfortunately was he was really outside. I'll say that, and that hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Shout to Crumb though.
Yeah, Closer to God, man. That's and I guess, and I don't want to keep bringing this back to fucking AZ, but that's what I mean. Like, that was like a song that, like, Closer to God, like it was talking about, and that Primo beat was dope. I just think A needs that executive producer to help put together the album. Like, I think that if AZ had that, similar with Black Thought, I think he needs somebody to help him, like, nigga, just let's talk about something, let's slow down, like, kind of how Vague, you always talk about how Hit Boy, like, produced Nas. Like, it wasn't just, here's some beat, like, yo, we gonna work on this together type thing. I think that's what AZ needs. Vague, who you got up next, bro?
Yeah, real quick. I think the problem with AZ too is he didn't have the support, because he bounced from label to label. A label folded, then he went to another label, then he went to another label. So he didn't even have the support to even do certain things, of even having an executive producer. Then he went indie. So I think that kind of hurt him too.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I always say, to Easy's point, do we have to give some of these people asterisks? I asked this, and shockingly, Portia was the one who was like, no. But I'm like, now that I'm older and I understand the industry better, it's like a lot of these people were just having to do what the industry wanted them to do. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even like 100% my fault. Like, no, the label wanted me to do a radio song. I didn't want to do no song with fucking Brian McKnight. The label made me do a song with Brian McKnight. Like, so
didn't the label do we get this work with Wyclef?
I don't know. I've always wondered that. Like, how, I don't know, but I've always wondered, how did those two connect? Like, every producer you could have fucked with. But again, maybe at the time it's like, yo, these niggas just sold 10, 11 million records. Like, so they got money. Vague, what you gonna say?
Considering I just posted a picture not too long ago of me and Cannabis after that first album, because I interviewed him. Kill, you remember that? You booked the interview. I think I remember him.
I can't remember shit. I just remember the picture. I ain't even remember.
Yeah, that's why you took the picture and shit. You were the executive producer of that because I wouldn't have talked to that nigga. I would have been like, "What? We gonna play what we fuck we like," and that's it. But nah, I think I remember in that interview, it was like a bidding war for cannabis, and to your point, what the Fugees was doing, he was kind of looking at it like they still hip hop, but they could take me to another level also, and it just didn't pan out during that time. But yeah, I had cannabis down as someone, and also had J. Rue. But I'm gonna go with the layup, Biggie Smalls, bunch of niggas. First time I heard him on that, I was like, "Yo, who the fuck?" Because this is a Heavy D album, and I'm like, I know Grand Poobah, I know Guru. Who the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Party and Bullshit came out, and I was like, yo, who the like, for something so common in any hood, like a house party, why the fuck didn't nobody make that song yet? And, you know, here's this dude who I was already interested in a little bit. Then obviously I found out he's from Brooklyn. Best of Biggie mixtape by Mr. C came out, and I was like, this dude is crazy. And then, you know, the rest is history. But being featured on Heavy D's Blue Funk album, that, you know, because I was buying Heavy D albums as soon as they dropped back then. Like, Heavy D just wasn't disappointing. And he, like, even when he would do like his commercial shit, he'll do some shit like bunch of niggas like, nah, we gonna rap. You know what I'm saying? Because I think LL gets that credit, but Heavy D was doing the same thing, like with Don't Curse and all of that.
Right.
Somebody who didn't live up, Big Noyd. I mean, when I heard Give Up the Goods, I was like, give me that shit next. Like, if this nigga, give me this nigga album next. But I think kind of unfair to him, but
very underwhelming EP right there, man.
Kill, you got that album?
Hell yeah. I was at the radio station, nigga. I got everything.
I like that shit.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of joints off of there, but it still felt like, damn, what happened to Noyd? But I know he got into like a lot of issues and, you know, getting locked up and stuff like that. But like when you hear him on the new Mob album, it's like, this is too easy for him. Like, how did this not happen? Like, in a bigger way, it's too easy. Quite honestly, I was thinking this anyway. They didn't do it, but you know, when they have these posthumous albums and the deceased member didn't really have enough work, so they bring in somebody else to fill the shoes. I think you can carry on Mobb Deep with Noyd and Havoc if you wanted to.
Noyd tours with him,
right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, like.
I think you could really just carry that on, and obviously you don't have P around, but I don't think people would be that mad if Big Noyd is doing an excellent job kind of filling that void, you know.
I was just about to ask that. How do y'all feel about that? Me personally, start a new group. Like, I don't like I don't want Salt and Pepper to break up and then they hire a new Pepper. Or I liked how Run DMC was like, Jay is dead, that's it for us, and TLC is like, Left Eye's dead, that's it for us. Queens, would you have a problem with Noyd if Havoc and P was like, yo, the new Mobb Deep? Would that be okay with you?
No, it's not okay.
Let me say this: as someone who works in marketing, don't say the new Mobb Deep.
Yeah, right. If you just say Mobb Deep, just say that.
If you say that, even I'm like, hell no, I don't want the new shit, nigga. I want P and Hav. Like,
how you package and market it is everything. Yeah. I think them touring is cool, right? Like even Bun said, ain't no UGK without Pimp C. You know, and remember there was whispers about Snoop Dogg filling in for Eazy-E for NWA, and they was like, hell no. I feel like I think everyone agrees with that. Like, it's just how you know, when they said Snoop Dogg is gonna replace Eazy-E, that's what it is. Like, you gotta word it properly, you gotta market it and package it properly.
And they have, and Mob, like I said, Mob tours, and I heard them. So they were, I think I heard them at the Hip Hop 50, and they said Mobb Deep and Noyd comes out and stuff, and he's rhyming P's verses, or they both Havoc and him both rhyming it. And
he is Mobb Deep though.
He is Mobb Deep.
He is Mobb Deep. No question. Teflon is MOB. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it is what it, you know, it is.
Right.
No doubt. That's true.
You know?
That's true.
And it's funny you named Tef because he's coming up on my list in a minute.
Okay.
Spence, what you got
You
up
know,
next, bro?
it's funny that if I had thought of him, I probably would have put him on my list. I just brought that up out of nowhere. I wasn't even thinking about him prior.
I
Tef
got
is on
Big
mine.
Pun. I got Big Pun.
He's on my list. He's on my list.
on my
too.
Hearing him on Watch Out, Fire
Out.
Water, and then you heard him on the Funkmaster Flex over the ice cream joint.
Come on, baby. My man
Then when
Spence
the-
is talking that shit right
You know what
now.
I'm saying? Then when you heard the album, Beware, Dream Shatters,
Spence is talking that
good.
shit, heavy
Yeah,
shit
Big
right now.
Pun. Twins,
Where-
yeah,
Yeah.
Pun, and was able to make commercial songs and still kind of fly too. So yeah. Now I know the second album really wasn't all that, but you could tell he was going through his sickness and things wasn't going right, and then we lost him. But I think the impact, you can't deny it. You can't deny it.
Yeah.
Even if he got his health right, you probably feel like he was going to be able to do some
ones, man.
stuff.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm the only Puerto Rican in here, so you know I'm excited. He just brought up Big Pun.
I was gonna save it. I was thinking he
certain.
gonna have. I said, I don't know if he gonna have it or not.
Oh no, I do. Pun is on my list. I just felt like it was too obvious.
Yeah, I got
You know, I didn't want to come out the gate with Pun. Oh, here this guy go. This bias guy. He was eating rice and beans
Yeah,
20
y'all
minutes
knocked out a lot of
Now he
my
wanna
joints,
put
I
Big
bet.
Pun in the fucking. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to avoid stereotypes.
Yeah. And then I got Lady of Rage. Like the first time I heard, Lady of Rage was on. Actually, wasn't the Death Row stuff. Was L.A. Posse. It was a year before that. They're the ones that produced LL's Bad album. They had a compilation album. She had a song with I don't know if y'all heard the MC Breeze. That was from L.A.
Future in your front.
He was on King T's album with Ice-T. With Ice Cube, playing like a piano.
Yeah.
And then she had another song on that same album called Total Chaos with Big Ill to Mac, who later became Ill from Ill Now Scratch. So that's the first time I heard her. Then the next year you hear him on the Chronic and all that. But I think she just got caught up with the drama hit. They all split up, Dre left, the label kind of went in disarray. Then 5 or 6 years later, she dropped the album, but the momentum was already gone.
Yeah, and that album was not bad, yo.
Yeah, she just
Primo
got caught
laced
up.
her
She
too, bro.
got up in
That was the
big,
Necessary Roughness joint.
Yeah, she just got caught up in the
Necessary
politics. Like she had a joint Afro Plus was fire. Just got caught up in label politics and just never really was able to do anything. So I really don't think it was her fault, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
It's again the gift and the curse. It's the gift of being in a crew, you know, and being featured here and there. The curse is you gotta wait your turn. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like, it's gonna be Snoop, it's gonna be a Dog Pound. Then they sign like, you know what I mean? So now Rage, you gotta wait. So gift and curse with everything. Next person I got up is Master Ace. First time I heard him was on the Symphony with Marley Marl, with of course Craig G, Kane, G-Rap, everything like that. And I felt like he's going on to I wasn't blown away by Ace, like, yo, who the fuck is that? But I was like, yo, dude is cool. Like, dude is dope. Like, dude held his own with G-Rap and Kane. You know what I mean? Because at the time, I want to say that was my intro to Craig G too, was Marley's In Control, with Dropping Science. So it's kind of like, it was like, damn, who are these two new young dudes kind of going, not bar for bar, but they was hanging with Kane and G-Rap. And Ace, take a look around. Everybody knows that's my personal classic for me. I don't expect anybody else to think it's a classic. It is for me. Slaughterhouse, Sitting on Chrome, Disposable Acts, Long Hot Summer, Arts and Entertainment with Edo G, The Fallen Season, The Brooklyn Story, Richmond Hill. To come out in 90 and still just drop the album in 2024, and Ace has they're not as crazy as the MF Doom fan base, but I think he has a very dope fan base that kind of holds him down. In fact, they're nowhere near MF Doom. I apologize for even bringing that up. I apologize. That's not even the same. I apologize for that. It's something totally different. But I do think he has a dope fan base. Somebody who disappointed me, man, Drez. When I heard him on De La Soul's Dead, on what is it, Fanatic of the B Word, kind of different style, whatever. De La Soul's Dead is my favorite De La album, so I know all the shit off that album, and it was kind of like, yo, it's gonna be dope. And of course, I hear Flavor of the Month. You know what I mean? The choice is yours. You get the debut album, and I'm like, yo, this is off to the races. And then that second album, man, it just.
What was that? What was the name of the second album?
Nonfiction.
Damn, I don't
and the first single was Without a Doubt. I think me and Mr. Long are the only two people who like that song. Drez don't even like that shit. It's just me and Mr. Long. They sampled the Isley Brothers, and yeah, it just, and then Long started rhyming on this album, so now they kind of was like becoming the duo, and I'm like, nah, this ain't it. And Long had cut the high top fade. It's like, nah, nigga, like this, just go back to DJing, and it just never.
He's that Van Damme nigga, right? Like,
right. You know what I mean? And it just, and I don't feel like he really ever bounced back from that. But I mean, for a minute there, he had the Legion from the Bronx with the what was that shit called? Y'all know
Jingle.
Yeah, Jingle. Like that shit, like Drez he had the style and everything. Like, yo, dude's gonna be dope. And he has a documentary out about the making that album he's supposed to be making with Dilla. That I don't know if ever is coming out. But if you can ever find the doc, I forgot where I saw it. Very, very, very dope documentary. Just kind of like on all the ups and downs of trying to make this album with these Dilla beats. So that's why I got up easy. Who you got up next, bro?
I'm going back to the LL Cool J I Shot You remix. I'm going with Young Lady Foxy Brown. You know, she came out on that remix. She held her own with some big dogs, man. LL Cool J. This is 95. LL Cool J, Prodigy, Fat Joe, Keith Murray, because Keith Murray this time, like y'all said, he was cooking, you know. She held her shit down, and she followed it up with, you know, I feel like she got one of those albums that is a classic for the time that it was in, whether you agree the actual music was 5 mic worthy. She had a game changer. She played a big part in that whole shit along with Kim. I thought she, you know, she did live up to the hype. So I'm going with Foxy, you know, she had, and then you know the Jay-Z features and all that, and then you know Getting Down with the Firm. That's real good company, man. When you look at when you put her shit on paper, it's impressive. So I'm gonna go with Foxy there. Now, this next one is interesting because I cape for this guy, bro. Like, he's a legend. I feel like he's a legend, like undisputed legend. But in terms of his solo, what he did as a solo act, when you think about it, it's like, damn, this motherfucker ain't really do much. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg. You know what I'm saying? Warren G. When you hear that Warren G Regulate, bro, that shit, I felt like it was real. You know, Warren G definitely did his part on that. Don't get me wrong. Like Warren G, absolutely. I feel like the you know how when you put their two, like the contrasting styles, helped make it what it was. Like what Warren was doing was so different than what he was doing that it made them both shine. But Nate was carrying that motherfucker, man. And then, you know, he went on to do a lot of legendary shit. But, you know, it's like there's a lot of people that can't even, they be like, oh, he had an album?
Dog, I'm about to say, I didn't know he had an album.
He had a single? Like, a lot of people don't even know that. Like, so it's like, I just feel like in regards to like his solo career, I feel like, you know, touchy subject because I'm on a panel with Kel here, but I think he's a legend. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you know, I just don't feel like he did enough on a solo tip. Like, you know, the Music in Me album has some joints. I'm gonna keep it real. I think there was only one Dre beat on there, and that was weird to me. You know, that was a little odd to me. But you know, he had the lead single with the I Got Love with the Bink joint. I thought was solid, and then I was like, yo, how come Dre is not more involved in this? Those were my thoughts. And then, like, you know, he got other shit that you don't even know if this shit was an album, if this is like a comp, like you don't even know. Like his discography is just scattered. It's odd, you know what I'm saying? Right. But so in that regard, I do feel like, you know, he's a hook king, right? Kind of undisputed, you know what I mean? But it was just like, I feel like he really should have had a solo, a Hall of Fame solo catalog, and he doesn't.
I think he's a hook legend.
Yo, kill. Delete me out of the show, bro. Like, just remove me, man. I'm tired of his shit.
Because here's the thing, bro. Is TJ Swan a fucking legend? I mean, he does, and I'm not in no way trying to discredit anything, but he's not an MC. Like, he's not an MC.
He is shit, bro. Hip hop as it gets, though. Yeah,
but he's not an MC. So like, you can't go there. Like, and like the lunch lady who fucking cook, she's not the real cook. She's not a cook. She is serving you fucking lunch. Okay.
I mean, he got verses on those classics. Like, I don't mean rapping verses.
Right.
He's rap singing. Rap singing.
You're right.
He's talking to you
in
tone. That shit's hip hop to me, bro. I don't know.
I just want to be like, if somebody said, "Kill, you are a legendary radio host," I'm good with that. I don't need to be a hip hop legend. I am totally okay with being here's the thing. If you could be a legend of anything, I think that's a great thing. The only time you have a problem with being a legend, the only reason why I would have a problem if somebody said, "Kill, you are a legendary radio host," if I thought I was more of a legend than other things. That's the only time it would hurt. So if I feel like I'm on the same level as Stretch and Bob, because I'm sure somebody will call Bob a hip hop legend. He's like a legendary hip hop historian. That's what I would call Bob. And I don't think that's disrespect, because he is a legendary hip hop historian. I set up everything at 889 based off of what him and Stretch was doing. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, yo, you were a legendary DJ, or you were a legendary hook writer, or you were a legendary writer. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Let me ask. So let me ask you a question, right? So no, because and this is like, everything is circumstantial, everything is unique. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nate Dogg's affiliation, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about, like, arguably the greatest, without doubt, the most iconic hip hop producer that ever lived, right? The magnitude of his contributions are so crazy that it's hard. In addition to, he did a lot of other shit too. It's hard to like knock him down for that. You know what I'm saying? That's me though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the thing. I don't mean to knock him down. Like, that's the thing. Like,
I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, knock him down.
Right. I know what you're saying. But even like people on Twitter was like, "Yo, Kill, man, just say you don't fuck with AZ." And I'm like, that's not how. That's, again, the educator in me. It's like math. Like, that's not how the equation works. It's like, if I don't call somebody a legend, then that equals I don't fucking like them. That's not how it works. Just it's this weird mindset that people have now, that it's like, I told you the time when somebody was like, I gave Benny's Tanner Talk for 4.5 mics when it first dropped, and I said it could maybe move up, and the guy texted me like, "Yo, DM me like, yo, Kill, I thought you fuck with Griselda." I was like, "I love Griselda. What are you talking about?" He's like, "Then why'd you only give Benny a 4.5? And that kind of showed me like, this is the mentality that people have. That's like, say you're a fan of somebody, then you have to give it 5 mics. You have to say go, because if you're a fan, the new equation is, if you're a fan, it equals go. So if you say that you're a Drake fan, you have to say he's the greatest of all time. If you are a Drake fan, you have to say, even if you think the album is a 3, you have to say it's a 5, because then you don't like them. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about you, but I'm just saying in general with Twitter, and again, like the 30, maybe like the 35 and under crowd, it's this mentality of, if you, like, there were people, did y'all ever see this shit, that there were people outside the Kendrick Lamar concert in Toronto who were Drake fans, like, boycotting the concert?
It's weird.
It is passing out pizza.
Right, like, these dudes are outside. Like, why aren't there more of us? Like, we need to stop people. This is like on some little, SEPTA is our bus company in Philly. Love Black Thought Force, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority is what I'm probably on. If I ain't whipping the land throughout the section, Love Thought. But they were like, when SEPTA went on strike, like, niggas like, yo, you can't cross the picket line. Like, that's how these dudes were in Toronto. Like, you can't cross, I can't allow you to enter the stadium with your ticket. Like, bro, is Drake paying your fucking student loans back? Like what? Yo, I would never in my mind, if Pac was performing in Philly or in Brooklyn, I would never be outside with a picket sign like, yo, Big E Smalls, Big E, no Roger, no rerun, no rent. Like the mentality, I just don't get the equation. It's like, and if I say, again, AZ's not a legend, oh, you just don't fuck with him, Kill. Just say you don't fuck with AZ without saying you don't fuck with AZ. And I'm like, God damn, just because I don't think he's a legend? What you gonna say,
I got the neutralizer, man. You got to get your stress levels down. When niggas say, "Oh, you don't fuck with him," just say, "Yo, I don't fuck with you." That usually ends the little banter. That's when I get DMs like, "Yo, OG, I ain't mean no disrespect." Neither did I. But get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like I can have an opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, listen, there's no listen. I want to share this because I just tweeted this at 6:11 p.m. today. The main reason I fell back from talking hip hop on Twitter as much, aside from finding more productive shit to do with my life, is that there's no objective opinions and conversations. Niggas are either dick eating or hating, and a lot of times both. There's no in between. I just tweeted this today. 6:11 p.m. Eastern time.
Right.
It's just what it is. Like, you have to like. You know what drives me nuts? Is that all right? So what's the conversation that gets beat to death the most? Nas versus Jay-Z, right?
Right.
And then it's like, you can't be objective. You can't say, yo, I prefer Jay-Z over Nas. You got to say, oh, it's Jay-Z. It's not even close. Shut the fuck up, bro. It's close.
Right.
Please shut all the way the fuck up. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, Nas, it's not even close. Like, dog, you can't have a conversation with a person bringing up one without them mentioning the other for a reason, right? It's like the dudes that you be like, you know, Jordan. I remember when Jordan had, oh, LeBron will never be as good as Jordan. Why you bringing LeBron up then, bro? Ain't nobody talking about LeBron. You are, because he belongs in the conversation. So it's closer than you're saying it is. That's all. It's like there's no objectivity anymore. It's annoying.
Right.
I hate
you're next up. Did you go?
Who?
I'm next up.
Oh, Cal, my bad. What you got up next, Cal?
I got OC.
That's my next one.
Oh, y'all picking all my songs.
You know what? Hold up for a sec, Cal. Hold up. Spence, I'm gonna go the other way around because we done named everybody. Spence, you start with OC.
Oh, no, go ahead. He already in there. Go ahead.
No. I'm gonna come back around. You left with everything, so you go.
I got for somebody that didn't make it. I got Big L, to be honest.
Oh, I should not.
I know. I'm just. I'm saying.
Twitter gonna be on.
Go
I
crazy,
know.
right?
I heard Big L on I think it was a Yesume remix, Lord Finesse.
Yeah.
He dropped his first album. I really wasn't a big fan of the first album. I actually liked the Big Picture better.
Mm-hmm.
And he just didn't do it for me. Even like Put It On Big L, I didn't like that. I like the remix of MVP, but other than that, it was some Jones, but it really wasn't like that to me.
Ebonics.
Yeah, Ebonics, I like that.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But other than that,
the funny thing, Spence, I'm with you 100%. The funny thing about me with L was he always sounded like Lord Finesse to me. Like they had similar styles. So since I had already been listening to Finesse for so long, but since I've been listening to Finesse when I heard Big L, it was kind of like, damn, he's kind of like a little you like type thing.
Yeah, but I think Big L flow is better though. I do think
Big L's flow was better, but like the way they rhymed was kind of similar. That made me shocked that Finesse would like get somebody who kind of rhymes like you. And I say this all the time that, you know, I don't think Big L is a legend. And of course it comes back to, oh, Kill, you don't fuck with Big L. And then I have to fucking go grab this. And I'm like, if I didn't fuck with the nigga, why do I have a Big L fucking statue in my studio as one of the illest lyricists? Just because I don't think you're a legend. And this statue is not fucking cheap. So this ain't no Walmart, Toys R Us statue. This shit is some real shit. So again, I don't have to think somebody is not that's not disrespecting everybody. That everybody can't be a legend. You know what I mean? But keep going, Spence.
And I got for the home team, Freeway. When I heard him on 1-800-HUSTLER, I was like, oh, this bull crazy. Now when I heard the album, I didn't like it at first like that. I mean, we used to be arguing on Total Looks Barbershop all the time.
Total
And they was
look.
like, yeah, he argue all the time about that, John. So I went back and listened to it a little more. Then I got into it. But then, the second album came out. I think he was trying to get some push from Jay and 50. They was supposed to both be in the videos. It didn't happen. Then The Rock broke up. But I think he persevered through all that and made a career. Even signing with Ron Sayers label, I think that took him on a different trajectory because he started messing with underground cats and he just built his own fan base. So I think he exceeded it because even without the backing, he still made a way for himself.
Right.
So
It's funny. We did a show about why is it people like Free, Ghost, Sean P. Like these are the people who we would have never said, in 1994, nobody would have ever said Ruck would be the person holding down a boot camp clique. Nobody would have said Ghostface is going to be the person holding down the boot. Nobody would have said the Free out of state property would be. You would have said Beans, Young Chris, Petey Crack, then maybe Free. But I think the cool thing is there are no expectations. You're the number 29th draft pick. So anything that you do, you almost feel like think about like Manu Ginobili was a second round pick, right? Nobody had the expectations of what Manu Ginobili was going to become, namely because you're a second round pick. Gilbert Arenas, second round pick. A lot of that came down to his own nut ass shit and almost making himself fall into the second round. You know what I mean? But I think that's the thing. Like nobody had any expectations for Ghost. And when you don't have any expectations, it's like if you're the smart kid out of all your siblings, nigga, your parents are expecting a full scholarship. But when you're the kind of like the kid who's just teetering on a C, nigga, we just fucking happy if you graduate high school, nigga. We are excited, like, you know what I mean? So the expectations are different. Yeah. The funny thing, Spence, with me with Free took some time for me to get used to because his style was so different. Then it was the same way with Sadat X. The first time I heard Sadat X, I'm like, yo, why boy rhyming like that? What's up with this nasal voice? Like, I didn't like Concerto de Desperado, Concerto in X minor off of One for All. I wasn't a big fan. Right. So it took me a minute to kind of get into it. And then the whole Freeway Cassidy thing. And Cassidy lived on my block. So it was like the bias was like, and then after the battle, it was like, oh, fuck that nigga Free. But then after a while, you couldn't deny it. What They Do is one of the greatest songs out of Philly ever. It's a fucking classic hip hop song. I don't care. You play that shit wherever, people gonna lose their shit. And it's funny because niggas like, yo, man, Free got more bangers than Beans really got as far as classic songs. I don't know. I mean, I know Rock the Mic is both of them. You know what I mean? But Beans doesn't have What They Do. You know what I mean? Beans doesn't have no song that you could throw on and people gonna lose their shit to. What you gonna say? What you got? What you gonna say?
In the air? I feel like people lose their shit to feel it in the air.
I mean, no. Yeah, it's a different energy. But no, I agree with you. But I don't know if I'm not even gonna play with you, Night Easy. If feeling it, I think it's a classic song.
Sometimes we overlook shit, and I'm just
No. You're 100% right. Like you said, I think it's just the energy shifts. What They Do is so up. What They Do is like that. You sitting down, smoking, thinking type. Like deep shit like that. But
exactly.
That's dope. That's dope, Spence. Cal, what you got?
I got K Solo as my bot, as someone who I thought would make it. Knick Knack Paddywhack. I'm like, man.
Yo, even the names. This is why I loved hip hop back in the day. You can have a song called Knick Knack Paddywhack, like, and nobody looked at the track list and like, yo, what the fuck? Like, really, nigga? Like, it was like, cool, Knick Knack Paddywhack. You know what I mean? Get it like.
Word. It's funny we talk about EPMD. That's 3 people we mentioned tonight. You mentioned Redman, Keith Murray, and then now K Solo as introducing someone as an artist. But I thought K Solo, I thought he was going to take off and got Spellbound come out, and the first time I thought it was decent, but I expected more, from him, and I just never. I don't know if the Hit Squad breakup causes thing, headbanger. He's a headbanger after that, and I don't know. He just never got to the level I thought he was going to get to.
I know what happened. What happened? What, the spelling bee got canceled?
Nah, because I like the second album, the Letterman or whatever.
I
that
like
was.
it too. I like it too.
Letterman. Yeah.
I think he got locked up, but then when he came back on There's a Dark Side, when he was very precarious and hilarious, it was like, who the fuck is this? And why is he
Richard Roundtree?
That's what he was,
it felt like he was a different person, you know what I'm saying, than he was previously. But I think it was because he just wasn't rapping like that. So, but that did it for me because I was like, oh yeah, no more from you, homie. Like,
you know what, Cal? Let me ask you a question because when I think of solo, and these are two different MCs, totally. So I'm not even forget it because they're two. Just me thinking about it, they're two totally different MCs. So what I was going to ask was with J. Rue, but he has two classic albums. I think he has one. I'm not mad at anybody who says two.
Yep.
K Solo didn't have any classic albums.
Any classic.
I love both his albums. I love both. What you said?
Which one? My fault. Which one?
What,
J.
K Solo? I think the Sunrises in the East is a 5, Mike. I think Rap for My Math is like a solid 4. But I'm not mad at anybody who says it's a 5. But I think with Case, because I was just thinking like, what did we expect from like was J. Rue? Do you feel like he was completed with 2 classic albums? Like that's his box because that's his career.
Box. Yeah, that was his career. Yeah.
So, but again, I'm thinking K Solo, but K Solo doesn't have 2 classic albums to close it out and say, hey, let me tie it up. Here you go, type thing. I really think I'm the only nigga who loves that first album. Like that I love that first K Solo album. I think
the second one is better.
I think I don't think the second. I like the second one too, but I think it was just where I was at. It's whatever grade I was in. It just was like the soundtrack, like, and that's why I'm like and I don't think it's a class. It's not even a personal classic. I just really, really, really like that album, you know. But by far, no means a classic. That's why I said let me just shut up because it's comparing apples to oranges. Vay, what you got up next, bro?
Another easy one. Tupac on Digital Underground, same song.
Mm-hmm.
I love Digital Underground. Didn't know who Tupac was. Just showed up at that part in the video, and I was like, like the scene was dope. His presentation was dope. I like the way he was rapping. I like the voice. Then obviously, he released a solo album, and I think when I saw the video for Brenda's Got a Baby, I was like, damn, like he's gonna be rapping about shit like this. It was compelling, and then obviously that's just kind of who he is. He went on to do great things, obviously, but in that Digital Underground song, he stood out clearly in that moment as somebody who could, like I was looking forward to whatever album he would drop just off that feature. So.
Right.
Somebody who didn't make it, Cassidy. I thought Cassidy was dumb nice. Like you said, you hearing all the battle.
Wait, did you hear him on a feature?
Originally, no.
Okay.
Like I said, with Beans too. Like I heard mixed Beans features, so I already knew he was dope. But that's just what the time was. You was hearing people on mixtapes or we up at the radio station, and you really get to get a look at him by listening to him. But I, when I did get to hear him, I thought he was nice. And I'm not one of those people who hated the Candyman record because I was in the club around that time. And when I tell you, he had one. I didn't even care about his verses. I just would, when the verses had. What's that?
Drinking two-step.
Drinking two-step. Mashonda. What was the name of the second one? Gets No Better.
That shit rang off in the club too.
Yeah, exactly. But as someone who was kind of being praised as a spitter, and he had joints on, he had mixtape joints too that I was just looking forward to the album. But then Swiss Beats was trying to make him something else, and it worked on a couple of songs, and then other songs it didn't. So it was just kind of like obviously him getting in a car accident really derailed everything. But I think he had a lot of potential just as a dope MC. So
what are you gonna say?
I believe something that really contributed to that was this was in the era where the stigma began about how battle rappers can't make music.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of effort went into trying to like debunk that.
Right.
And it
And
kind of
I
like
mean,
it helped
say
in
the
some
same
ways,
thing.
but it also hurt.
I say the same thing because I'm like, why would labels signing these spitters to make radio songs? You know what I mean? Like, that's essentially what it was. Because I always tell a story. All my Brooklyn niggas was like, yo, you gotta hear this nigga Fab Sport on these Clue tapes. He's nasty as shit. Then I hear Fabulous on Little Mo, and I'm like, this stuttering nigga? Like, this the nigga y'all talking about? But then Mad Niggas was the same way. I'm telling niggas about Cassidy, like, yo, my young boy, he be battling everybody. He be beating everybody up on the cypher on the radio. Then niggas heard Hotel, and they was like, this your man? This your man right here? This, you know, and then you hear Gets No Better, and I'm like, God damn, man, like shit. On the low, that second album, I'm a Hustler, was better. It's not a great album.
That was better.
But it's a real, that was more his lane. I mean, I think he got one with I'm a Hustler. Like that shit was getting played everywhere. You know what I mean? And it kind of was like, oh yeah, this is the nigga I'm talking about. This is who I'm talking about.
You know why? You know, like label signing spitters happen because of people like Big and Jay-Z, and you know, Nas got a couple too. They could spit, but they had party records, and I think it was let's serve both, you know, audiences, right? Like let's drop this street shit, get them crazy, get some of them to buy it, and then let's get this club shit because we know they gonna buy it off of one single, but everybody can't do both. Everybody, you know. Like, I think a lot of his hits were really based off the beat and the hook. Because I love that I'm a Hustler joint, but when you hearing that knocking the speakers in a club, like, you can say anything. The shit is just hot. You know what I'm saying? So I felt bad because, like you said, that second album was dope. But then it was like all downhill from there, especially after the accident. So.
Yeah,
I feel
before
like
the accident,
go ahead.
Him getting locked up, like that whole shootout on my mom's block, like that's really what derailed that nigga. Because it's funny, my mom was like, "Yo, niggas shooting on the block, like niggas saying it was your man." I'm like, "Cass, like that nigga he ain't gonna be fucking up his career like that." It was Cass, you know what I mean? So that happened. Then he got out. Then the car accident happened, and I think he lost his memory for a minute or some type of damage or something. So, and it just never did. I know, I think he signed with Carmelo for a second. Like Melo had a little indie record that label he was fucking with, so he was fucking with Melo, and then
getting cooked in battle raps.
Then he started making beats, and it never was the same after the accident. You know what I mean? So that was a thing. Were you gonna say, E?
No, I was just gonna say I feel like it's another testament to the greatness of the Notorious B.I.G. is that he made all the spitters want to be like, oh, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a big reason why Jada Kiss got pulled in so many directions. Oh, you got to be able to do that. You got to be able to do this. Like your man Big, you came up on the Big. You know, a lot of dudes fell into that. I feel like,
and we gotta give love to Heavy D because Hev had the formula before Big. You know what I mean?
Correct, but Big was the one that made.
Big was the one that Big made everybody have to follow suit and try to do what he could do or whatever.
And look, let me just add one thing because I've said it here a million times, but there's a difference between I'm making street records and I'm making party records. I love the dough. Everything about that record is two-step, wingtips, dance. But the nigga said ice reflect off light, the shit flashes, blind and broke asses, even got rocks in the beard and mustaches. Like
talking that shit.
Oh,
talking that shit.
You put that over a Primo beat, niggas, you know, but you hear what this nigga saying? And I know niggas who was like, well, what is he saying? Nigga, Jesus piece of shit they always talk about. He's just describing it. Like
talking
that
shit.
But I digress.
Right. Yo, Cal, how have you not said Nas, man?
I figured that was too easy. That was too easy. I'm like,
I guess like Spence said, I was waiting for Nas. I'm like, I'm Queens. I'm thinking I'm giving you the pass.
I'm not even mention Nas.
All right, so we're gonna just get. Here's the funny thing with Nas. Here's the funny thing with Nas. If y'all can see it, I just wrote Nas. Ain't no nothing under it because ain't nothing to talk about. Like we already know what he is. Like you know what I mean. So okay, cool. So we not even naming Nas. Okay, cool. I got I got CeeLo on Outkast Get Up, Get Out. You know what I mean? When I heard that shit, I was like, God damn, you know, like that verse. I want to say it was a source quotable, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, his verse on Get Up, Get Out, I was like, yo, this is dope. Everything he's saying just made sense. You know, you got to get up, get out, cut that bullshit out. Ain't you sick and tired of having to do it out? It was like, God damn, like this nigga out here preaching. He had his voice. We know what Goody Mob was, but CeeLo and the Perfect Imperfections in 2002 was crazy. CeeLo is the Soul Machine with the joint that Timbaland did for him, which was crazy. That was everywhere. He got the Lady Killer, which is my favorite CeeLo album that a lot of people don't talk about. He's got Saint Elsewhere in 2006 with Gnarls Barkley with Crazy, which was dope. I want to say he made some ill comments about either rape or something, and he got canceled, and he's never been able to bounce back from that. But he said, I know CeeLo said some ill shit, and that kind of got him canceled. Yeah. But CeeLo exceeded all expectations because he's that most deaf nigga. He can sing, he can rap, he can kind of do it all. So I had
he was doing that singing shit before Andre was.
Yeah. And a person who I was super hyped for, Spence, you may feel me on this. When I heard Dice Raw on the Roots, the lesson part 1, I was like, yo, and they kept talking about he a young boy, he only 15. I was like, yo, when he said break a metal chair, cross your back, crack. I said, oh shit. Like, okay, nigga, let's go. And that was about it, because his first album, Reclaiming the Dead, was just trash. Like, it ain't even no nice way to say it. It was just trash. I don't know if he just fell in line, was like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna just be part of the Roots. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna just rock with Black. I'm gonna replace Malik B. Like, you know, and just act like nothing even happened. But yeah, I really thought Dice was gonna be crazy after that, and he wasn't. So, Spence, who you got up for your last one, boy?
Everybody pretty much picked the same people. I got the Nas, I got Redman. So it's pretty much everybody that picked the same. So,
all right, Ease, what you got left?
Now I gotta hit you with a disclaimer.
Here you go.
The boom bap ambassadors, the guys that get no pussy, here's your time. Come out. Mace, Only You remix, 112 joint. Came out, there was a big buzz around that. Whether you liked it or not, doesn't change the facts, all right? Just because you fucking don't like women, doesn't change the fact that this shit, he wasn't buzzing behind that. You know what I'm saying? Mace, man, Mace, he lived up to the expectations in the sense that he became a star. You know, you can't dispute that. He was one of the ones. And Veg said something interesting about Big. Like, yo, you put that on a Primo beat. Like, yo, man, when if you slow those lyrics down, it feels so good. He's talking, man. I thought so. I'm the reason they made the dress code. They figured I wouldn't wow when I'm in my fresh clothes. Like, that shit was fly shit to me, man. I thought if you put that shit on some hard shit, that shit'll go. So, you know, I mean, he got to a point. I mean, obviously he declined after that, but he still got to that point where he was, you know, he was one of them ones. And I feel like, you know, he declined because he wanted to. It was his decision to decline. So,
right.
So I got Mace. My other underachiever, so to speak. Yeah. And this is a little, you know, borderline, because this dude had success in the underground, but when I heard, you know, Affirmative Action, and I heard Cormega on It Was Written, the expectations were, you know, he dealt with a lot of bullshit, and, you know, I was really anticipating the Testament album. You know, remember when Def Jam used to add the bonus CDs and shit? Yep. And they was doing all that? Like, yo, I had a lot of high expectations for Cormega. I thought he was dope. And then, you know, it didn't happen. So, Cormega for sure. Like I said, a lot of success in the underground. He did very well off of that Realness album. They was, because I remember, like, Land Speed, they were based out of, I don't know exactly what city, but they were based in the Boston area, Land Speed Records.
Right. Yeah.
You heard about Bumpy Knuckles went up in there with them things and was like, yo, y'all owe me some bread. You guys heard about that?
Nah.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
Nah.
Allegedly.
I didn't hear about that, but that doesn't. But Bumpy doesn't surprise.
Allegedly. Anyhow, so I feel like after that they kind of learned and they started to pay motherfuckers, So Comega, the word was Comega did very good, and he was like, so it depends on what you how you look at it, because I feel like there's a lot of guys in the underground who live off of rap, they feed their families, but to the extent of what I thought hearing him on affirmative action, he didn't go where I thought he would. So that's why I'm saying it's iffy, because I'm not trying to play him. No, he wasn't shit, but I thought it was gonna be more.
Right, I feel you. Cal, who you got left up, bro?
I got 50. I know people, the Onyx, React, the video's whack, but I always love the song in hockey in an ice rink. But I love that song, him 50. Then obviously How to Rob, and then where he ascends with his career. Now I'm making. I got Lady Luck.
Damn, I forgot about Lady Luck.
Yeah, Symphony 2000, Simon Says remix. I think she's gonna take over. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if she has an album. To be honest, I have no clue. Does she?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't know what.
Lady Luck. I ain't heard that name in years.
Yeah. She was spit.
I thought she was nice, yo.
She was nice.
Yeah. Damn, now I gotta go figure out what happened to Shorty.
She did go into that.
IG.
She another battle. She's heavy in the battle shit too.
Yeah.
Battle rap.
Okay.
I think she battled Ren.
Yeah, she battled Ren.
Oh, word?
Yeah, word?
Did she win?
Yeah. I don't remember who won, but I remember they battled.
Okay.
It was a heated debate for a while.
Okay. All right. Vay, who you got left up, bro?
I'm not sure on the timeline, but I know for me, this was the first time I actually got to hear him spit after hearing about the fact that he could rhyme. It's Kanye West on the Champions, the Dream Team joint from the Paid in Full, inspired by the Paid in Full soundtrack.
Right. And
that's when Dame Dash was yelling in the background, like, my producer rap better than but that was the first time I could hear him. And I was like, yeah, he all right. Like, he's better than I thought. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously his career went on from there. I'm just going to throw 3 out there. I had Petey Crack. I remember I wanted his album so bad.
I thought Petey was going to be a fucking star, man.
Yo, especially when I heard him on that Neo shit, I was like, he getting closer when it's dropping.
Yeah. Well, I tell you one thing about Philly niggas, we know how to fuck up the bag, but getting locked up. We know how to fuck up the bag, man.
Right. Chill out there in Philly, man. I ain't never been.
How many times Beans done been locked up? Roscoe P. Gold Chain, Cassidy, Pete. You could just go down the line of Philly artists who are all supposed to be
Roscoe just came home.
True.
Yeah, Roscoe just came home. And
even Black Thought got caught with the banger back in the days, bro.
Huh?
Black Thought got caught with the banger back in the days too.
Yeah, I mean he ain't never do no time, but I'm
just saying he got in trouble.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, we will fuck up the bag.
2 more. Inspector Deck, I think, is one of those that we know why, right? For a couple of reasons. There's the flood, but then there's also the timing and when his album dropped, just not living up to those legendary verses that he put out on Wu projects. Even though I like Czarface, but still not what I thought it was going to be to the point of the topic. And lastly, I mean, unless you from Harlem or New York or you were really heavy into mixtapes, Cardan. He was down with he was so nice.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was thinking at the time, why do you have Jewels in Dipset and not this nigga? This nigga could spit. He had all of the same things that Cam and Mace had, but I don't know, it just never panned out. And it got to the point where I was such a disgruntled hip hop head. Even when he had hot freestyles, I'm like, we ain't no motherfucking freestyles, nigga. Where's your album? What
Yeah.
Or who knows, you know. But yeah, Cardan was one.
I forgot about that.
The only people I got left
Yeah,
up, y'all gonna laugh at y'all, huh?
No, I'm saying Pierre Cardin.
Y'all gonna laugh at this one, but when I heard Nice and Smooth on Big Daddy Kane's Pimpin' Ain't Easy, I was like, yo, who are these two niggas? You know what I mean? And then when I heard Early to Rise, I love Nice and Smooth's first album.
Me too.
I love that shit.
Oh, it's classic.
Like,
I think it's classic.
and even that second joint, Ain't a Damn Thing. Don't really love the album, but Hip Hop Junkies, you know, I felt like it was the end of hip hop being fun. You know what I mean? Rickety Rocker was my favorite cartoon. After Marriage, The Honey. Like, it was just fun hip hop. So that was one for me. Another group that I had was the Alcoholics. When I heard them on King's T, I got a badge, y'all. I was like, yo, these dudes is dope. You know what I mean? And to me, I think their first two albums, I think, are both 5 Mic classics, 21 and Over and Coast to Coast. Like, I love both those albums. Liquidation, I mean, it wasn't a 5 Mic classic. It had Hip Hop Drunkies with Old DB, but I thought that was a dope album. So the Alcoholics. Two people I had, and their question marks by them, Kid Hood on Tribe Scenario remix. When I heard Hood, I was like, oh, this nigga's off to the goddamn races. Like, and, you know, sad to say he got killed, you know, murdered or whatever, but it's like, damn, like what could have been? Because I'm always like, yo, could you imagine a Kid Hood album produced by Q-Tip, like circa 94, 93, 94? Like, man, that would have been crazy. And here's one, Spence, you'll be with me on this, Mars, from the Roots to Clone, who sets clones off. I was like, yo, like, number one, if the last time you heard the Roots was Silent Treatment, you heard Clones, it was like, yo, who the fuck is this? Like, you know what I mean? And just the way he set it off with everything, tried to tell you, let the struck value, the way niggas get clapped shit to fucking scare you. I was like, yo, who is this? And just nothing.
Disappeared.
Nothing. Like, virtually disappeared. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was hyped. Like, yo, okay, I you know, because again, I'm like, okay, Dice, we got introduced to Dice on the first album. I'm thinking, okay, we getting introduced to Mars on this album, and something is gonna come from it, and it nothing did. So definitely a dope show. Easy. Where can they get at you? Where can they get all the merch?
Can I add my last one?
Oh yeah, I didn't know you had anything left. Yeah.
I just want to know if it was if anyone else here agrees with when you heard Young Jeezy on Them Boys with Boys in the Hood, because he was the standout, and then he went on to be a success story too. Young Jeezy.
I forgot about he was in that group.
Don't think take too long to lock up, then bring it back. That was my shit. You was short anyway, so bring it stack. It was like, it's crazy because Jeezy was like, when I heard that, he was almost like a guilty pleasure. And then when his album came up, I'm like, yo, hold on. This guy's he's for real, you know? Yeah. He's not, you know, in the conversations that we generally have in that sense, but he made dope ass music. I thought Jeezy was one of them ones.
Yeah. Jeezy just give you that feeling.
Jeezy is one of the holes in my hip hop game. I do not know a lot about Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my.
You saw the buzz.
Oh, yeah. No. I know. But that's one of the times when I'll be like, nah, I gotta take a step back and I'll listen and I'll learn. But I don't really know a lot about Jeezy. You know what I mean?
Jeezy's one of them boys that the up north people respected for some reason. He just had that feeling.
Yeah.
Just talking that talk.
A lot of conviction too. Like, he just sounded like he was.
Really,
I feel like a lot of people like, just like, you know, how he carried himself and the way he kind of like delivered. It was original too. It wasn't sound like nobody. I think the year he came out, everything fucking been done. Early 2000s. So when you brought something fresh, you stood out, you know. And then Underachiever, I threw Little C's in there, because you know when you heard Players Anthem, you know I heard Players Anthem, and he's associated with Big. A Little Kim Took Off. I liked his album. The Wonderful World of Caesar Leo. I enjoyed the album. It's one of them joints that got like, you know, like I like fun street shit. Like the Lost Boy shit, the Naughty by Nature shit. I'm into that type of shit. And I felt like I got some of that from Steez too. So he was, I thought he'd do something. He just kind of fucking, you know, like all he do is he's just a walking Biggie interview these days. You know what I mean? Like,
for the past 25 years.
Yeah, it sucks. So it's gotta be.
It's bad, but it's like, yo, if niggas will, like, I mean, if we see C's taking out the trash, it's like,
Yeah,
this is whack as shit. So like, choose your hard. You could be the nigga who you just get interviewed all the time and you get paid to talk about big, or you could be the nigga who fucking is picking up trash and doing some shit like that. And nothing against picking up trash, but one of my favorite, God, did I say one of my favorite Consequence verses? One of my favorite was when he be like, yo, you look just like this kid I seen in the Busted Rhymes video the other night. Like, nobody want to be that dude. Like, yo, you the UPS man, nigga? Like, yo.
What's his credit though? He seems to lean into it though. He seems to enjoy talking about Biggie and keeping his man's name and legacy alive. So
right. It would just fuck with me after a while that, damn, every time niggas want to talk to me, it's only to talk about what Easy did. Like, hey, Kill, tell us more about Easy. Tell us how y'all meet. Like, it's like, God damn, can y'all ask me something about me?
It's not only the fact that they asking about that. Like, what else is there to say, bro? I've said everything
That's the
already.
thing. After 25 years, what else is left? But you see, niggas will always pop up. Here go on Diaz. Oh, Biggie was crying when Pac. Oh, man, now you telling me the man was crying? Like, God damn, man, is there any code left? Like, how much do you owe that you gonna fucking sit here and throw Big under the bus? Nigga was crying in the Lex when he, like, God damn, nigga, like, you really gotta put him out there like that? Even if he was crying, I don't think he's crying. If he was crying, I would assume it was like, damn, this was my man. Like, why my man doing me like that? Like, but you making it sound like he was on some old nut ass shit, and it's like, damn, niggas will do anything for the fucking money, man. I tell you, man.
Facts.
But Ease, where can I get at you, bro? Talk your shit, man.
I'm at Easy Money ST everywhere. I got some new. I'm about to start cooking again. Me and my man Manipulator got some shit. I threw out a little single for the crib, and I'm kind of just like building this album around that.
Nigga, so, I better get a track because I sent you like 50 tracks.
No. Hold on. So Manipulator's doing this whole album.
All right.
But you and I didn't want to say it on the air, but since you took it there, you drop a lot of albums without that I'm not featured on too. So I give him my I throw it right back.
See this?
I'm not a petty nigga like that, but you brought it out.
All right. All I said was I just want to make the album. That's all I said. I just said I want one. That's all I said.
Your legend criteria already pissed me off. Don't piss me off more, all right? But yeah, I'm at Easy Money ST everywhere. I got but with Kill and I, we definitely overdue. Definitely, we gotta do something. Whether we throw out,
this is one who illest MCs, singers can do it both. Funny nigga, follow him on IG. You may get some songs sometimes. You don't never know what you're gonna get. Always dropping some dope heat, spitting. So definitely tap in with him. Cal, where can they get at you, good brother?
Just at Big Help on IG.
And for anybody out there who your children or your nieces and nephews may be interested in going to Morgan State University, the national treasure, that is the man to get with right there. This nigga's phone is like, he's like the congressman for Morgan State. So when kids can't get housing, they call in Kel. They don't even call a fucking school. These are true stories. They don't call the school. They call Kel to try. There he is on the cover. This nigga's on the cover of magazine. So, yeah, this thing, I'm telling y'all, they literally don't call the school for housing, they call that nigga. You know what I mean? So if you have any questions about the National Treasure Morgan State, that's the man to get at. Spence, where can it get at you, bro?
IG and Twitter, 88 Spence, man. Thanks again for having me.
All right. No, bro, you no more thanks, bro. You part of the crew. So we good. We good. Beg, where can they get at you, bro?
I also will be running for Morgan State, something or another, the nigga on the bridge position. I'm saying. I don't know, man. You can follow me on social media at Vegas World INC. Also, you can check out my podcast, Hip Hop Now Podcast, available in audio form, but also right here on YouTube. Trying to get to 25,000 subscribers. Right now, I'm at 21, so trying to push that, but the only way to do that is with content, and I got a couple of tricks up my sleeve, so we'll see. I got the big joker too that trying to make happen, but I don't want to talk too much about it because it will go crazy if it does happen.
I gotta get on there, man. Stop fucking playing me and invite me.
It's just me though. Like it ain't.
So what? It could be both of them. One episode.
You gonna sit on the couch?
Fuck.
Like, yeah.
I mean,
You already know this with me. Kill 889 Twitter, IG. Yeah, it's always a dope, good hip hop discussion going on over there on my timeline. Definitely got to shout out my peoples, AG and Sean from Hip Hop Talk Podcast. I was on their joint a while ago and we were talking about if MCs were superheroes and everything like that. And then AG, and this was probably about 2-3 months ago, and then AG hits me with this joint right here from Master Pill, which is the joint that Nas dropped for all the people that he had becoming superheroes. So definitely dope. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I was gonna keep this sealed, but I'm a little salty because it feels really thin for $40. I'm not gonna hold y'all. When I saw the $40 price tag, I thought I was getting a graphic novel or something, and I feel like this is incredibly thin. Like, so just giving people a heads up. This is not a graphic novel. This Nas got me on the 40. He got me. This is my.
He almost got me, but I was like,
this is the contribution to the next Legends has it, because nigga, not $40.
I bought 3. So. They got me for 90.
Yeah, so
90. Word?
I bought 3.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, because I saw it for 30.
But definitely, I still got to salute Nas, man, because what he's doing for hip hop, I think, is what more people need to do. My man told me L is doing a similar thing, and he's 100% right. Rock the Bells Radio, and what L is doing is amazing. And, you know, I just love seeing it. I just love, and again, I think all the albums, minus the Slick Rick, for me, have all been their best albums of the last 20 years. I think this has been the best Ray album, the best Ghost album, the best Mobb Deep album. Definitely interested in the Daylight and the Nas and Primo joint that's still coming in the Big L. So just want to salute Nas for that. I will check y'all next week, good peoples.